Wow.
What is Jesus doing?
I never saw that before. That's like that series you find in nature? Like the face of a sunflower?
Where are the spirals?
You see this math everywhere.
Welcome back to the Gnostic Informant, and you're about to attain true gnosis. Today I'm joined by the one and only, the most canceled man in the world, Edom Green. Someone in the chat called you Edom Green, so I had to.
I saw that. Yeah, they always do that. So Christians do it, but then my guys do it as a joke. But yeah, ready to get some true gnosis, Edom pilled.
Yeah.
From their own words, epic compilation watch party, basically.
Yeah, I want to start this off. Years ago, I briefly knew who you were, and you were you're popping off. I think it was around the time you got canceled on YouTube for something. I don't know what it was exactly. Probably just nothing. And I remember hearing that you had a reputation of being anti-Semitic, so I just kind of followed that. I was like, this guy just hates Jews, blah 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 blah. And then one time I think I mentioned you in one of my videos. I think I like lumped you in with some people. I think I lumped you in with like Graham Hancock or something. And you reached out to me like, dude, you said this about me. Can you show me where any of my videos had ever said anything like that? And I was like, I'll find it. And then I couldn't find it. I was like, wait a minute. I actually looked through your work for the first time. And I actually remember what I wrote back to you. What did I say? Do you remember?
I told you, I threatened I was going to sue you. So
I don't think
take
you
it
said
back.
that. No, you didn't say that.
I might have.
No. You were just like, bro, you're misrepresenting me. You didn't threaten to sue me. And then I literally got back to you like a month later and was like, dude, you're right. I can't. I was like, I literally edited the video because you can edit videos on YouTube. I took that part out. That video doesn't even exist anymore. It's gone. So that part of the video where I was talking about it's gone. I deleted it because I went through your work and I was like, actually, he's only talking about rabbis. You're not talking about like Jewish people in general. You're not talking about like, you're not doing any of the, the low tier, low hanging fruit shit that you see all over the place. You're actually going in and actually being very clear on what you're discussing here. And these are like the same way people, when you watch these atheist channels and they do like response videos or they do reaction videos where they listen to Christian pastors going off and they're like, oh my God, they're so right wing, they're so racist, they're so this. And all you're doing, and I'm not saying you're like acting like that, but I'm saying all you're doing is what they're doing, but you're going beyond Christianity and you're going into Judaism. And there's these real rabbis. Oh, you can see a scratch from my dog, by the way, right here. You see these real rabbis, and What's the difference? This is what I really want people to understand. I want to preface this video before we get into this. Ask yourself, if you find yourself getting annoyed that we're playing videos of real rabbis and you think this is somehow anti-Semitic, I want to ask you, do you have the same reaction when you watch an atheist video responding to Christian pastors or priests or Muslims? Yeah, Muslims are fair game, right? These Christians are constantly calling them goat effers and all this stuff. It's fair game. No one cares. No one bats an eye at that stuff. But as soon as
our politicians right now are justifying the war in Iran that they're like an apocalyptic death cult. But then if we play clips of rabbis all over YouTube and like in their literature saying, you know, Gog and Magog, apocalyptic, end times war stuff, you know, then you get banned from YouTube.
And as soon as you do exactly what everyone else is doing for Islam and Christianity, and even paganism, the pagans get made fun of all the time. All of a sudden, it's different. All of a sudden, it's like, whoa, this is anti-Semitic, dude. They're just practicing their religion, man. Well, leave them alone. And I'm like, wow, this is weird. And I just want to preface it with that. So,
what is the apocalyptic Zionist agenda? ADL?
Apocalypse is that we're going to have to get into it. So
the Bible. Ezekiel 38, 39, Zechariah 14,
Bible.
2.
Yeah. So I want to start off before we get into the whole like Edom needs to pay for what the Romans did 2,000 years ago. I want to get into some of the stuff that I really that really got my attention from one of your videos, and it's this clip right here. This guy. So let's play this clip. You can tell me to pause it whenever you want. And
Rabbi Goldstein, one of my favorite.
This is Rabbi Goldstein. Okay, he's in Athens. I was here, by the way. I was in this exact location where he's standing. That's the Parthenon. At the top of the Acropolis, and you think you go there, and you think you'd have some respect for one of the greatest landmarks in the world, and this is what he decides to tell his audience.
Okay, we're here at the Parthenon, and even though this is a makam of Avodah Zarah, nevertheless it has a very
idol worship
halachic status. Shulchan Aruch says, Siman Reish Chav Daled, Haraya Makom Shenekra Mimena Avodah Zarah. If you see a place that Avodah Zarah was uprooted, this place was built in honor of the goddess Athena, and there was a golden ivory statue here, and it's destroyed. It was destroyed by the Ottoman Empire. It's no longer here. It's completely uprooted. Now,
what do you think would happen if you and me went to Israel and we went to the wall and we started filming and going, look at this place right here. This was destroyed by the Romans. You think people will get a little mad, right? People around us, they'd go, get out of here.
I don't know. They think there was judgment by God and that it sent them into exile so they can like refine themselves and atone for their sins and make repentance, and then they're going to return one day. They'll be like, well, we're here now. We're here now, and they want to rebuild the temple.
Imagine if we started filming in front of the wall, talking about how it got destroyed, and we were just sitting there like pointing at it and going, look at this place, it got destroyed. I mean, I think people would be annoyed at us. They'd be like, what, get out of here. They'd be like, kick us out. You know what I mean?
Those who served Avodah Zarah here thought this place would last forever. I mean, it looks indestructible. Who could possibly even wreak any havoc on this place? It's on the tallest spot in the whole city, Acropolis. It's the rock. It's the tallest spot, polis of the entire city. They thought they would worship idolatry here forever. But the reason it's not here is because of Klal Yisrael. You say, what? Because of Klal Yisrael? We didn't destroy it. We did destroy it. How's that? It's through the influence of Klal Yisrael. The Rambam writes that the reason why Hashem created the religions of the world, Christianity and Islam, is so that the Jewish view of monotheism should be able to spread to the whole world. So be through Jewish influence, belief in monotheism, that then filtered down through world religion, namely Ottoman Empire, this place was destroyed.
I have a lot of issues with what was just said there. What do you think about this, first of all?
This is like basically universally believed in Judaism, that through Christianity and Islam, the monotheistic God Judaized the world and conquered the pagan world. So him celebrating this is like par for the course. We got whole compilations we can watch tonight of them explaining the role. He's cited Maimonides. It's the top sage in Judaism that says that Christianity and Islam serve to pave the way for the Messianic age and are almost Noahides.
So the Christians, even though, and I'm working on a long documentary about this, yes, they destroyed temples because of their Jewish influence, because of their Torah influence to destroy temples of the idolaters and the pagan gods. Yes, but they happened to preserve this one right here because they knew the Greeks were like, no, this is actually our heritage. So I want to make sure that's clear. But it's funny how he's giving credit. He's taking credit for the Ottomans in the 14th, 15th century when this was destroyed. And it's just funny how they're taking credit for these monotheistic religions, which is actually somewhat true though. I mean,
it is the Yahweh meme that conquered it and conquered paganism, and that was like the goal of Judaism. So
yeah,
it sort of checks out, like the idea of monotheism, the God of Abraham conquering paganism. That did happen in this.
He's right. Genealogically, he's correct. But I would say this though: his idea that Jews invented monotheism is nonsense, because the Greeks were already leaning towards this idea of not one God in general. I mean, they had multiple gods, daimons, all types of spirits and messengers and muses and all this idea. But their theology, going back to 5th century, even 6th century BC. You start to get thinkers like what's his name?
The monad, right?
Yeah. I'm trying to think of the one who was the first one. Well, anyways, there's a whole bunch of Anaxagoras is one of them. Yeah. A bunch of the pre-Socratics, Heraclitus, Parmenides. These guys, they were out there. They had these ideas that there was one major creator, and Plato obviously adopts this view of the one, right? The demiurge. So they already had an idea of monotheism.
Egyptians had it at one point too.
Egyptians
sort
too.
of monotheism, yeah.
Yeah, so this was the educated elitist worldview that Judaism adopts, and now the whole world thinks Judaism like invented this stuff. It's just something I wanted to point out, that like he's thinking monotheism is our thing. It's like, no, it's not. It became your thing, but it wasn't your thing to begin with. Like, you guys are still polytheists in the 4th century BC. You were still putting Athena on your coins that you adopted from the Greeks. Did you know that, Adam? Jerusalem was minting coins with Athena on it and the owl and everything. They were heavily inspired by the Greeks. So it's funny that they adopt all this stuff from the Greeks, and then they turn around and shit on the Greeks. It's just Christians do the same thing. They adopt all this stuff from the Greeks and turn around and shit on the Greeks. And cancel
That's kind of a new thing for new spin-offs or new developments. They usually lash out to distance themselves and separate themselves from the religion or institution they came from. The Christianity and Judaism did the same thing.
Yep.
So they thought they would serve Avodah Zarah here forever, and because of Am Yisrael, it was destroyed. And therefore, we make a bracha. The bracha is, I'll say it if you want to be Yotzei,
a blessing, or
you could say it together with me. It's better. And afterwards, there's even a special tefillah to say. The bracha is, I'm not going to say it yet. We're being Mavarich Hashem that He uprooted Avodah Zarah from this place, and then we're mispalel that just like HaKadosh Baruch Hu uprooted Avodah Zarah from here, B'man should uproot Avodah Zarah from the entire world and return the whole world to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu Shechem Echad Ba'aguda Achas.
Serve God. He said
I heard enough of this guy, but I want to say this though: he's actually wrong. Traditional, they call themselves Hellenes. They don't call themselves pagan. If you go to Greece, you find a pagan there. They don't call them a pagan. They say I'm a Hellene. Hellenism. The Hellenes are back. They're growing in number. They're restoring temples. They're coming back. So this idea that they're destroyed is actually kind of silly, because as we speak right now, they're on the rise. So I don't know what his I don't know if he knows that, or if he's aware of that. But there was also a Christian who went to this same site. So this one right here, this is another Christian.
It looks like a different site though. I think
I just meant talking about Greek temples in general. Right. This is in Corinth. I was here.
Same rhetoric and attitude about the pagan being destroyed from the Christian and the rabbi.
Yeah, this is such an iconic site. If you've been here once and you see this, you know exactly what it is. The Doric columns. This is the Temple of Apollo at Corinth. So let's play this.
What's up, everyone? I'm in ancient Corinth, and right behind me, perched atop the Corinthian Acropolis, is the Temple of Apollo, a major temple in the city of Corinth that was the site of a lot of pagan sacrifice and worship. And I'm sure some of you are probably asking, why am I recording here? And the answer is because behind me, I already did a video over there, is the bema where St. Paul was held as prisoner for preaching the faith in this pagan city. And now 2,000 years later, this temple of Apollo, where so many people used to flock, not just in the city, but throughout Asia Minor to worship, is ruins. It's stone. The statue, the idol of Apollo that used to be here and was worshipped, no longer is here, right? It's neglected. He no longer has any worshipers, any followers. The cult of Apollo is dead.
That's true.
And thus, effectively, Apollo is dead. A lot of us like to think of Greek mythology as a kind of fun game, right?
All right, you can't kill Apollo. Apollo is is a metaphysical concept that represents real things in the world. This is the thing about paganism.
Yeah, Apollo went to the moon, bruh.
Yeah, exactly. But like,
hope on that. He'll be like, it's fake. There's a firmament. This guy probably is a moon landing denier, I'm sure. He'd be like, satanic NASA and their fallen angel, demon god Apollo.
Yeah, 666, whatever. Like they'll find some math somewhere. But first of all, Apollo worshippers still exist, or people who are called, maybe they're not worshippers, but up under the Apollonian worldview, that type of thing.
They're trying to build temples in Greece, and then the Orthodox Christians are trying to block them.
Yes,
but the rabbi approves of that.
Getting arrested for it too. Yeah, I know.
This guy's a little too psycho about this, by the way. Do you feel? Are you getting like a negative, evil vibe on this of him celebrating like the triumph of Yahweh?
It's the same thing we just heard from the rabbi. Yeah. Same thing. The same sort of sick mindset. These people were destroyed. My God destroyed them, and they're never going to come back, and they're always going to be dead.
They destroyed like 90% of art of the ancient world. It's like the greatest destruction of art and statues and history and knowledge, and they celebrate it. And
they celebrate the greatest classical period, Greco-Roman classical period, all the way up until the 3rd century BC, AD. I mean, we're talking like 1,000 years almost, like 7th century BC to almost 4th century CE. Talking that period of time was the greatest, the pinnacle of everything when it comes to science, mathematics. And I'm not saying they weren't more advanced than us today. I'm saying the way they were structured, and it's funny because people talk about unifying Europe. Christianity is great because it unifies Europe. Are you sure about that? Because last time I checked, Protestants are murdering Catholics. Catholics are murdering Puritans. Puritans are fleeing to go to the Americas. The Orthodox and the Catholics are at a schism. And literally Constantinople gets sacked by Catholics. There's more wars between Christians themselves than when you go to the ancient world. There's no holy wars. Eleusinian mysteries aren't going to war with the Samothracian mysteries. The Egyptians aren't going to war with Greeks over religion. It's over some political shit. But in the Middle Ages, they go to war over religion. So Christianity divided up the European man more than ever.
That's what the New Testament says. Jesus came not to bring peace but the sword, and to turn family against family.
Exactly. This was so ironic about it. They're like, it divided, it unified everybody. No, it didn't. It divided the shit out of everybody. Divide and conquer. Either you know what I mean? Holy Roman Empire was divided up by these little sections of, here's a Protestant section, here's a Catholic section, here's this section, Calvinist section. They were just divided. They couldn't agree on the Bible because the Bible there's so many contradictions in the Bible. Like it was mess. But you never see that in the ancient world. You don't see people going to war over religion. You had, the Germans and the Nords and the Anglos. They all had their own pagan pantheons. And they didn't fight over it. They just kept their own shit. They kept their own local traditions. They fought over other things, don't get me wrong. They went to war over land and politics, kingdoms, that type of thing. But they weren't divided by religion. No, they're actually more unified in that sense. Anyways, let's keep going.
Like DC Comics or Marvel. But it's important for us to understand from the scriptural perspective that deities like Apollo and Zeus are very much real. They are demons, right? And so
who told them that?
What we see here amidst these ruins, amidst these really unassuming stones, is evidence.
Yeah, daimon. That's the word for God, by the way. So what happened is, what's so funny about what you just said there, that word daimon, which literally just meant like deity, divine figure. It could mean like Dionysus can be called daimon in one source and God theos in another source.
Is it similar to archons?
Well, archon means ruler.
Demons and archons.
Archon means ruler, and so you can. They use that. Christians start using that term ruler for people who rule this world. So they're daimons. They are daimons. But the word daimon itself becomes sort of demonized. Literally, like the word. I'm literally using the word to describe the word. It's weird. But because people like Augustine and those later theologians in the 4th, 5th, 6th century, 7th century, they trying to distance themselves from the Greco-Roman pantheon. So they start calling daimons demons, and that's how that happens. But literally, there's no indication that demons are bad. They're just deities. They're like your angels in Christian. They're like Michael and Gabriel and those guys.
Of a spiritual warfare, the God of Yahweh against the gods of the nations. And 2,000 years later,
one more thing: the God of Yahweh versus the gods of the nations. Let's do a tally on this. How many times did Jerusalem win against the gods of the nations in history?
Even when they lose, they actually win because they're just being taught a lesson. So if they lose, they actually
have
win.
An invincible theology. If we get sacked by the Romans, and literally in 63 BCE, Pompey comes into Jerusalem. Pompey's on fire. He just defeated Mithridates the Sixth. He just defeats a couple of Parthian generals in that region. The Seleucids gone. He conquers all of Greece, all of Asia Minor, all of Syria, and he's moving his way down to Egypt. And he goes into Jerusalem untouched, unfuckwithable. And then the sources say he went to Jerusalem to see the temple. This is a pretty famous temple, and he wanted to go inside to see what was so special about it. And the priests were like, "If you go in our temple, Yahweh will smite you. He will. This is what Moses told us. If anyone goes in there except for a Levite, he will smite you down. You'll die instantly." And Pompey's like, "Your God is not more powerful than my gods. I'll be fine." He walks right in there and he takes everything that's out of there. There's nothing in there. It was pretty much empty, it says, except for some sort of golden diadem. And there's another source that says Antiochus IV went in there. The same thing happened to him. He went in there. He was totally fine. He did die later. But anyways, they take credit for that. They think it was because of Yahweh, even though it probably wasn't. But he goes in there and he finds a donkey statue, a golden donkey statue. But the reason why I'm even bringing this all up is because I can literally go to the primary sources and find like 12 to 15 times Jerusalem gets destroyed by the nations, by the Goyim, and how many times did Jerusalem under Yahweh go and fight and win? Other than the Maccabee War, they won. That's it. That's all they got. They lose every single time.
Egypt, the Exodus.
Yeah. Well, those aren't. That's them leaving Egypt. So I don't know. I guess.
Well, it's a victory. They got the 10 plagues, and then they.
But that's the
ran
Bible
out of there with all the
that.
treasures.
That's not historical either. I'm talking about real historical.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Real historical events. When we look at real history, they get destroyed by the Romans multiple times. That the Romans during the age of Augustus sacked them. Pompey sacked them. Nero sacks, Vespasian. Multiple times they're getting destroyed by the Romans. Multiple times they're getting subdued by the Syrians, Babylonians, Egyptians. Always. They're always just constantly getting destroyed all the time. So they actually make a theology out of it. It ends up becoming a motif of a suffering servant. This is what Isaiah is writing about. Oh, we're being destroyed from all sides. There's lions surrounding us. We're being pierced for our iniquities. Literally, King Josiah gets pierced. That's how he dies. And they think it's about Jesus. It's not. He literally wrote that about Josiah. And that's why people go, and this is why I always say, like, even though I always talk about how the Bible's later, it's written in the 3rd century BC, there are sections of it that they're using to rewrite. Like, that's part of the older section of Josiah being pierced. Anyways, the point I'm trying to make is this guy's literally, he's convinced that Yahweh's been defeating people. But what happened? So the only time they actually become relevant again is in the 20th century, the Balfour Agreement, 1948. But who's behind all this? It's a secular world at this time. It's a secular world. These are, you know what I mean? Like they're not. This is not Yahweh. This is people. These are people. Yahweh hasn't done nothing.
Yeah. The cope of them being conquered or occupied by foreign powers and Gentile kingdoms, it's not that their God is less powerful than the pagan gods or that their God's not real. It's that they lose because they're being punished for sin. Like their cope, I think in the Talmud, the cope about the temple being destroyed was there was baseless hatred. So they were sinning, they were idolatrous, they were hateful. So they had to be taught a lesson by Yahweh. That's the cope. It really is a cope religion, and Christianity is sort of a cope religion too, with the dealing with the occupation of Rome.
And as far as the gods being dead, no, you cannot kill the gods. The pagan gods are eternal. You cannot, because this Apollo. What does he represent? He represents the sun. He represents light. Represents beauty, form, music, intelligence, rationality. Are those things dead in the world right now? No.
They're saying this is a cope stream. That's funny. A little bit. Yeah. Their big victory is through Christianity and Islam, Judaizing the world and conquering paganism.
Well, you're only
that is a big of a cope.
It's only a cope when you're wrong about something. For example, when I destroyed the Ammonites the other day, when Maddie came on and they were all like, and I was like, give me some primary sources for what you guys are saying, and she couldn't even provide one. The next day, they're all making posts about how I was rude and mean and how I could. That's coping. We're not. What we're doing is we're literally being objectively true right now. We're correct. So it's not coping. Yeah. We're not.
You can't kill a God that's not really alive.
You can't kill a God.
Idea.
You can't kill a God that represents things that are real, that are alive. Mm-hmm. Rationality, truth, form. The sun isn't dead. So you can't. Apollo's not dead. Apollo lives. No matter what you say. These are metaphysical concepts about reality. That's what the gods are. This is what the ancients understood. So, anyway, let's finish off this video.
Later, who won seems abundantly clear. Apollo is no longer worshipped, he is dead. Aphrodite is no longer worshipped, she is dead.
Not true.
They're all dead, but Christ is alive.
Not true either.
He died too, and where is he? He's alive.
Well, the real cope is actually this guy. Because, number one, Aphrodite. What is Aphrodite? She's beauty. She's beauty. She's love. She's charm. She's sex. Are those things still alive in the world today? Absolutely.
You know what's funny too? Also, Christians are always saying demons run everything. Demons secretly running the world. All the elite are secretly sacrificing to demons. Yep. So,
on one hand, they're all alive and well, and they're running the world. Yeah. On the other hand, they're dead. Which one is it?
Yeah.
And by the way, Jesus is objectively dead.
Yeah. Yeah, Satan's in charge of this world in the Bible. Jesus is in heaven,
but Jesus is literally dead. Let's assume he existed. He died, right? He died on a cross. That's what this text says, and he said to his followers. He literally says, "Here, I'll pull up the verse." Here it is, right here, Matthew 16:28. Watch this. This is how you know Jesus is still dead. I'm going to prove it to you right now. Jesus is dead. And by the way, I know you're a mythicist, but I'm just saying, let's assume he existed. True. He says, let's assume this is a real quote from Jesus, because I actually don't know if it is. Truly, I tell you, some of you standing here will not taste death before they see the Son of Man coming in his kingdom. Wait, what? Wait a minute. Let's break this down. Some of you, which means his 12 disciples, will not taste death before Jesus comes back in his kingdom. So people think this is about the resurrection. No, it's not. It says coming in his kingdom. That's Revelation. That's the end of the world when the kingdom of heaven ushers on earth. That means the apocalypse. Did Jesus return in his kingdom yet? No. And guess what? Some of these people who are still standing with Jesus are all dead. They're all dead. Peter's dead. James is dead. Matthew's dead. Whatever. Name all the sons of Zebedee. They're all dead. So this is a failed prophecy if we're assuming he existed. And he's still dead. Jesus is dead. Jesus never came back. End of story.
If Matthew's written after the temple was destroyed, do you think... Like they wouldn't do a prophecy that was wrong unless they still thought he was coming.
I've thought about this.
Yeah, this is like full preterist. Oh, Titus is actually the Son of Man, and Jesus was working through him to destroy the temple because he predicted it. That's what I hear
Not really,
Christians say.
Matthew,
well, no, obviously not, but that's what they
Matthew
say.
is trying to portray itself as an eyewitness a little earlier than people. We now date it to after 70, but Matthew's not pretending to be a guy after 70. Whoever wrote Matthew is pretending to be somebody from before 70 to make it seem like he predicted the end of the temple. Now, what you brought up is a fucking really smart question. Why would they write this in there if everyone's dead?
If it's a failed prophecy, yeah.
But I think when this was written, there were people who thought that he was coming back any day now. Any day now. So when Matthew's being written, the people reading Matthew for the first time, maybe it's 80s, 80 AD, 90 AD, they're thinking, holy shit, he said this. And they might think there's a couple of these people still alive from Jesus' time. And that means it's going to happen tomorrow. So that's I think the point of this verse is to instill fear into the reader that any fucking day now. And that's the point. That's why apocalypticism has been going on since day one.
It started from the very beginning. Like in the book of Enoch, there's a Son of Man from Daniel that he's like the hidden Messiah, and he's gonna come in the clouds of heaven. It's in Mark. Jesus says it to Pilate, and I think that they were always expecting Jesus to come down from the clouds as the Son of Man. So that's the way it's been for 2,000 years still. So that's just kind of where that first started.
Yep, exactly.
Is I don't know if you guys can see, but right behind me is a church, the Church of St. Paul. So at the end of the day, we have to understand the book of Acts and all of the epistles in the New Testament as a spiritual warfare where God incarnate, our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, has dispatched warriors, the apostles, to come into all the nations and take back what the false gods, the demons, had tried to rule over.
Did you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Jesus' apostles were warriors going out against the nations, us Europeans.
The 70 disciples as well, and the Great Commission to the 70 nations in Judaism.
This
from
guy's
like the generations of Noah. Yeah,
he's reading that as a literal warrior effort to destroy us spiritually. That's crazy.
Spiritual warfare. Yeah, mythological warfare, basically.
I agree with him. I believe this is a spiritual warfare. I believe we have been usurped. Our culture has been usurped by Christianity, which is Judaism, which is Judaism.
I'm actually listening to Bart Ehrman's book, The Triumph of Christianity. I've only listened to like the first hour, but it's pretty good so far. He puts it well. The triumph. That's where I got the.
That's what my book is about. The book I'm working on. Mm-hmm. My book is about the process. And I start off with the origins of Judaism and how that whole history has been fabricated. It's all been backdated, and none of Judaism doesn't even exist until the 2nd century BC. There's no Jewish text until the 3rd century BC, or at least the form we have it. And I actually talk about how there are parts of the Bible that do go back as far as maybe 7th century, but that's been all rewritten so much to the point that we can't tell which parts are what. And then I get into how Christianity develops as a universal type of Judaism that's goal is to go beyond the temple and sort of scope into the Roman Empire and convert Gentiles and all that stuff. And then I talk about how and I go through the primary sources. I show multiple primary sources from people in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th century who are fighting against, who are opposing Christianity, essentially. I talk about how the sons of Constantine, when they visited Rome in the middle of the 4th century, how they're getting booed by the crowds there because of what they were doing to the Roman imperial cult, how they were transforming it into this Eastern they're trying to appease the Eastern Front, Antioch, Syria, Armenia, where all the Christians lived, because they were losing. The Persians were encroaching on the Roman Empire. It's a political thing. This is Constantine and his sons. What they were doing was all political. I don't even think they even believed in Christianity. They tried to keep Christianity as an equal to the pagans, and that failed because Christians can't do that. They cannot coexist with pagan religion. They have to exterminate the pagan religions, and then they need to have all the power. So I have a whole book about this coming out pretty soon.
I can play you 10 hours.
I want to play some of these rabbis, dude.
Where did that come from?
Any thoughts on what I just said, though?
Before we switch to the Edom and rabbis prophecy, can we conclude this this little short, like 2-minute compilation I made goes really well with the pagan temple thing.
Which one is it?
I just dropped it in the StreamYard chat.
Oh, okay.
It's how rabbis view the role of Jesus in Christianity and Islam.
Okay.
It's short.
No, we're good, man. You're my guest, so I'm following you.
Yeah, I can stay longer than an hour and a half too. I told him.
Awesome. I was pissed about that. Let's do like 2 hours, 3 hours.
Christianity and Islam have a positive function in weaning the pagan world away from paganism.
Jesus Christ is the instrument of God to bring the good news to the world. He's the instrument of God to bring the pagans out of paganism and into faith in one God. That's the work of Jesus Christ.
For to take pagans and to turn them into B'nai Noach, into people, moral, righteous Gentiles.
For the Gentile world, he took them away from barbaric paganism and he made them embrace the Sheva Mitzvahs B'nai Noach, which are the basic moral codes known as the 7 Noachide laws that God gave them, Adam and the B'nai Noach, for all of humanity.
The significance of Christianity and Islam, bringing a pagan world to the idea of one God. When it comes to taking a pagan polytheistic world and moving them towards the right direction, Christianity and Islam have done a great job in doing that. So in that regard, we see Christianity and Islam as helping bring the world to observe what they're supposed to ultimately observe.
That's crazy. They literally, this is so funny because you hear Christians and even Muslims talk about how they're the antidote to Judaism. You know, they're all like, we're the ones who are sent by God to destroy the Jews. We're the ones at war with them.
They have the covenant. They're the true followers of Abraham.
They're literally taking credit for you, dude. They're literally taking credit for your success because they know that you are a branch of their tree. They are
the big Christian and Muslim influencers will pretend that all these clips and rabbis don't believe this stuff. They suppress this. They'll never share it. They'll never acknowledge it. It's like they're embarrassed and like involved in the cover up that this is how the rabbis see Christianity and Islam.
Exactly. It's so crazy. Let's keep going.
The Noahide code.
They have converted themselves to semi-Jews. Monotheism. Islam, later on, the same thing.
How do you feel about that, Christians watching this right now? How do you feel about them calling you semi-Jews?
Well, I mean, Christians call themselves that. They're spiritually circumcised. They're inwardly Jewish. They're the true Israel.
It says we're the spiritual Israel. We're the new Israel. That's
all the Christians.
Jay Dyer. Yeah, that's all them, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much say, and they're very strong about it, and they're very monotheistic, even more so than the Christians. There's no Trinity. Wait a minute. Islam, Christianity. Why now? God is preparing the Messianic era. He's preparing the whole world. And they make up the majority of the world. There's a great percentage of Muslims and Christians. And there's so much common ground with Judaism. They're pretty much monotheistic.
Without Christianity, these Messianic prophecies could never have taken place. And therefore, Christian Islam is vital to setting up the world, preparing the world for Mashiach, so they will recognize it. Because if they never were exposed to the concept, Mashiach will come and they go, well, what's that?
He's right. He's right. And by the way, thank you for the 5. Noahide back sing. Let's go. He's right. Because if Christianity did not exist, Christianity never existed, Judaism would be gone. It would have died out. There would have been no one would have cared about it. It would never have spread. And Jews in the diaspora would have just fell in line with the culture that they live in. If they lived in Spain, they would just follow whatever Spain's cultural heritage was. That's what happens to all these other ancient religions. They all fade away. But because you had something like Christianity, which became like a corporation in a sense, and it had state power. You have this book called the Bible with an Old Testament and New Testament being taught to everyone. And because they all know about Judaism and they all know about Jews being chosen people and all this stuff, Judaism is able to survive in a little pocket corner somewhere. Otherwise, like I said, the culture would not have recognized them as anything. They would just fade away.
Well, what Tovia was saying there is the messianic prophecies in Judaism, the Messiah coming, and then the Gentile world like recognize him. That wouldn't have been possible if they were all still pagan. So Christianity and Islam through Jesus is like a transition stage of weaning them away so that they believe in messianic prophecies. Christianity and Islam are undoubtedly, offshoots of messianic apocalyptic Judaism.
And
they believe in Messiah prophecies.
They think of by the way, we have 1,000 people watching right now across both platforms. YouTube is 855 and X has 150. Thanks for thank you all for watching. Thank you. Drop your super chats. No, so they think of Islam as being better than Christianity in the sense that they follow Torah more. The Sharia.
No. They follow Torah less because they have the Quran, and Christians believe the Torah. It's because they're not Trinitarian. That's
You're right.
What it is.
Not Torah, but Mosaic code. I should say. I should rephrase that. They follow Mosaic code way better. They don't need
Noahide code. Noahide code.
But even beyond Noahide code, they don't need pork. That's not a Noahide code.
In both prophecies, they come back into each other. In Christianity, the Jews accept Christ, and in Judaism, the 10 tribes come back into the two.
Mm-hmm.
Same problem with identifying the Messiah across religions.
Yeah, they both come back into each other. Exactly. This was exactly what I was just about. This is exactly what I was just leading up to saying. Thank you for the 10, Brandon. So you're right. That's a good correction you just pointed out. It's not that they're following Torah; they're rejecting Torah history, and they're following Mosaic code. They're not eating pork, which is not Noahide. That's beyond. It's going beyond Noahide. They're only worshiping. They're not making images of gods.
They're circumcising, and Christianity,
yes,
in theory, doesn't.
Yeah, but Christianity, though, they preserve the text.
At often when one has become initiated.
You become initiated. Hell yeah. So one side preserves the text, which is very important. The other side preserves the practice. Bring those two together, you have a world Judaism, world Abrahamic order. It's fucking crazy. You think about it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So they both have their part.
Like, let's say, Rav Yaakov Amder, one of the greatest rabbis ever lived, that Christianity fulfills the Noahide code. Let's assume that Islam fulfills the Noahide code. The more they spread that, fantastic. And the more anyone who spreads ethical monotheism is a win for us. They are joining.
What does that mean, ethical monotheism? I don't understand.
Noahide law, Yahweh, belief in Yahweh.
It's silly because, as I pointed out earlier, the Greeks, especially the Platonists, Pythagoreans, whatever, even Zoroastrians in Persia, they already had this idea that there was one super god on top of everything. I mean, some of them were dualists that had two opposing Anger Manu and Ahura Mazda. But the point is, they all had this idea. Ahura Mazda was the singular good god, right? So this idea, like, what do you mean that these people, even though they had lesser daimons, what's the difference between that and the church of the angel Michael? Like, you go to a church and it's dedicated, or a saint, Church of Saint Demetrius. And Demetrius is like literally deified to a god level. So you are polytheistic. You guys have lesser powers underneath Yahweh. You have Jesus, for example. You have, like, Islam has all these deified figures. You know what I mean? Has all these angels. The angel Gabriel can fly and give messages. That's a god. That's the same thing as a pagan god. So this idea that there's some sort of reformation of monotheism is actually kind of silly. If you really break it down, it's actually kind of silly.
What's silly and frustrating is how Christians will affirm this lie that, like, all morals come from the Bible, that there weren't civilizations that had their own moral codes, before Judaism and then Christianity. So the rabbis will say this, you know, we brought morals to the world. That's what they always say. That's their role, light to the nations, teach the God, the one true God of the universe to everybody, and teach them morals, teach them Noahide laws. And then Christians will affirm that. Even Christians like Jay Dyer will say that, you know, transcendental argument, morals all come from the God of the Bible. No morals without the God of the Bible. And they'll also confirm that Christianity is a Noahide-esque religion, just like the rabbis do.
And this is just one example of Mount Delphi. They had their own legal codes. Follow the gods, obey the laws, worship the gods, respect your parents, be overcome by be a just person, right? Etoupo. That means literally be someone who's just. Know what you have learned. Like these are intend to get married, have children, think as a mortal, know your opportunity, control yourself, control your anger, honor providence. These are all stuff that people long for wisdom. I mean, what do you think? These are orgiastic cannibals? This is pagan stuff. Praise virtue, dude. This is one of the biggest ones. Let me just get this super chat out the way. Thank you, Brandon.
Long for wisdom. Christianity says wisdom, or the worldly wisdom, is evil.
I know. That's true.
Moral and philosophy we see in Abrahamic or Greek.
Yeah, exactly. This is what I'm pointing out right now. Thank you, Brandon, for the super chat. This is what I'm pointing out right now. So all these morals and great things that they gave to the world, they already had this stuff. Exercise nobility of character, shun evil, guard what is yours, listen to people, be religiously silent, do a favor for a friend.
Christians should follow that. I wish the Christians had that one.
I know.
Be religiously silent.
What you're bringing up is actually interesting. Is that we had better morals. I think we had better morals in our ancient world.
Oh, Yahweh is far from moral.
Look at this. Look at all these great maxims to live by. The Greek world, and even not just the Greek world, the entire European world had very, very similar codes to this. And they were
all cultures all over the world developed their own moral codes. You know, some were better than others, but they had the moral codes.
The point you and I are making is this idea that Christianity, some sort of civilized these people who are all a bunch of degenerates, you know, cannibals, worshiping demons, and involved in idolatry. All this crazy stuff that they think we're doing is nonsense. It's literally nonsense. Thank you for the $1.99. I appreciate that.
At Hoffe and Men, one dropped $1.99 super chat.
Thank you for that.
If you like, you could even say they're joining the religion of the Torah, but not its covenant that's unique to the Jewish people. We would say that the spread of...
I'm sorry to keep pausing it, but he's like, we're glad that you guys follow our Torah and stuff, but you're not part of our covenant. He can't help it to shit on they're all second class to them.
Ethical monotheism is a win. That is what the Torah wants to see happen.
That was great. So, all right, I have a clip that I've really been waiting to get to. I wanted to start off with some of the Greek stuff because I know my audience loves this stuff. I wanted to ease you in a little bit. But these people, there are some rabbis, and I'm being very specific about rabbis here. I'm not saying all of the Jews in the world think this way. So just, you know how YouTube is. You got to preface it with that. But there are some rabbis out there who want to harm, literally, they want you to face justice for something you had nothing to do with. What do I mean by that? Something happened 2,000 years ago between a bunch of Romans and a bunch of Jews. You weren't there. You might be related. I'm Italian and I'm Greek too. I'm Italian and Greek. So I have a genetic relation to the Romans and the Greeks, but I wasn't there. I didn't have anything to do with the Second Jerusalem temple. But these rabbis think that I should pay for something that happened 2,000 years ago. So without further ado, let's play this clip. I'll show you what I mean by that.
Time comes, Rome will be nothing.
Until then. The Zohar says that they're going to go down hard for how they treated us over the last 2,000 years. For the destruction of the Second Temple and how they treated us, Hashem's going to take them down hard. He's going to humiliate them. And
he's going to humiliate them. This is people. This is Europe. European
revenge fantasies.
Yeah, we had nothing to do with it. We're totally 2,000 years later. We had nothing to do with it, but we need to pay for it
on the world stage.
On the world stage,
Western countries.
Western countries.
Edom. I'll take that one. That's what I want to see.
That's what he's not even saying. This is so fucked up, dude. Whoever this guy is, fuck you, dude. Fuck you. This guy is not even just saying my religion believes this or my scripture says this, but it's unfortunate. He's saying I want to see the West die. I want to see Europeans suffer and pay for something that they didn't even fucking do. We have nothing to fucking do. We had nothing to do with it happened in 70 AD. I didn't fucking live back then, motherfucker. Neither did you.
Yeah, generational guilt.
Yeah, this is crazy. This whole mindset, dude. This whole collectivist mindset, dude. It's crazy.
It's crazy, too, because they rightfully criticize Christians who blame them for supposedly killing Jesus, which is wrong and dumb and I don't think even happened.
Exactly.
But then they'll complain about, like, they'll have this blood libel revenge fantasy on Rome and attribute that to modern day people, like collective guilt, generational guilt.
You are fucking spot on. I mean, I know there's a lot of fucking dumbass, low IQ Christians who blame the Jews for Christ's deaths when most Jews have nothing to do with it. Let me finish this. Thank you for the super.
At full trip 5,268 dropped $10 super chat. If prayer works and spirituality is real, what happens when billions of people pray to the same people's tribal god? Adam, enjoy the book. Neil, looking forward to your stream with Balderson.
Thank you. I don't know who Balderson is, but yeah. Am I doing a stream with somebody? Maybe I have somebody. I don't know. I might have something on my calendar. I don't know exactly who that is.
I hope Balderson is bald.
Yeah, or he's the son of Balder. That'd be cool too.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? I might be.
Everybody believing in a god does give that god power, even if it's not real and the prayer is not real.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right, Paul, for saying this. That's a great point. Back to what I was saying. Thank you for that super chat. I really appreciate that. Was well said. So this is crazy. You and I have been constantly. It's funny because you and I get called anti-Semitic all the time, but we're actually not. Like
I get called Jewish way more than anti-Semitic.
I get same here. I'm either Jewish or anti-Semitic, one of the two. But what's so crazy is you and I are at the forefront of saying, dude, the Jews today didn't fucking kill Jesus 2,000 years ago. They're not 2,000 years old. This is one of the silliest things we hear on the internet. But this guy, on the flip side of those arguments, is doing the same low tier. The nations, the goyim, they need to pay for what they did 2,000 years ago. You guys are both low IQ idiots with this stupid back and forth Torah wars, and I want no part of this shit. I want it to be gone.
A 2,000-year grudge.
2,000-year grudge, and they're the ones bringing it.
99-cent super chat. Have you heard of Edwin Johnson or Anthony Fomenko?
I know who Fomenko is.
There are various historical revisionists, but there does seem to be some kind of massive shift in history when printing press was.
No, this is nonsense. Fomenko's an idiot. Fomenko's a grifter. It's all nonsense. Why? Because listen, Ghost, I'm fine with you looking into this stuff. Go ahead, dig into it. Do some good research for yourself. We have physical primary sources. We go to sites, and we dig them up, and we find papyri. And what do those papyri say? They have sources of stuff we already know. So they find manuscripts of Plato. They find manuscripts of the Bible. They find manuscripts of Homer. And it's never some thing that we never heard of. So the idea that they change history up at some point is fucking crazy. But thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate that. This nonsense that these people push about Edom needing to pay for something that happened 2,000 years ago is crazy. Let's keep playing.
For how they treated us over the last 2,000 years, for the destruction of the Second Temple and how they treated us, Hashem's going to take them down hard.
How did he treat you I didn't treat you any sort of way. I didn't do anything to you. Then, if anything, I treated you nicely. So what do I got? What am I paying for?
Well, in his mind, he's talking about the persecution of Esau against Jacob throughout the history of the church once the Romans converted to Christianity.
Yeah.
That's what he means.
And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. What does it have to do with right now? Like, get over it. Live today, dude. Stop being like a weird, I don't know. Stop being weird.
You know, humiliate
much of Christianity has apologized and changed their ways, and has positive views towards the Jews now too. And he still wants to get revenge over it.
Like the Pope, like literally, like being cucked to Israel. But look, I don't even think they have to do that. The past is the past. Whatever. I don't think that. I'm not even saying that Christians have to do that shit. It's over with. That's the past. You holding on to that shit tells me that your spiritual religion is bullshit. You know what I mean?
The world's
because all the really high level like Stoicism, Taoism, they're all about living today and forgetting the past. They can't do that. This is low tier dumb shit.
Forgiveness
Judaism
is a
not
Christian
wisdom.
virtue, but not necessarally. I guess I don't know about Judaism.
No, Judaism, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. It's Syrian Iron Age wisdom. It's really low tier Iron Age wisdom. Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. He believes that what happened in 70 AD is a debt that needs to be paid. And let's be, you and I think that that's been paid. The fact that Christianity conquered the Roman Empire, to me, is not only is the debt paid, but now you owe us. Now I think the debt's in our favor now. That's what I think, if anything. But I don't live in that debt shit. I don't live in the you owe this what's it called? People saying that there needs to be reparations and all that stuff. I don't think that way. I don't think about reparations. I think about today, right now. If I did something to you, me personally did something to you, then I owe you for that. Then there's a debt that
maybe we would have. The whole world would have been a whole lot better off if they never destroyed the temple. Quite possibly.
Maybe. Or maybe the world would be better off if Christianity never existed.
Well, if the temple wasn't destroyed, Christianity probably wouldn't exist. That's
probably true. That's probably very ironic and true at the same time. What you just said right there. Thank you for the super chat.
At Off and Men 1 dropped $4.99 super chat. If you thought about it, but the idea of one God, there is nothing else, taking to the ultimate conclusion can be unsettling.
But the idea of one God, nothing else, taking it to the ultimate conclusion can be unsettling. I don't know what you mean by that. I'm not really sure what you mean by that. I don't know if you thought about it, but the idea of one God.
At Gustav Frankie dropped $9.
I guess it can be unsettling.
Super chat. You guys should check out Lauren Guinot on Substack and the Phoenician Hunter. I point out Edwin Johnson because I think Merkin is right about the Torah. I think that is the case with NT as well.
Yes. Merkin has absolutely been vindicated in the past couple of years. Another scholar just came out. A mainstream fucking scholar.
Is it the one that Jonathan Ehrman shared? The clip of Ehrman and some other dude?
Yes.
Who is
Ehrman.
that?
Let's
Collins.
find out.
Something
John J. Collins. Yes. I couldn't think of it. John J. Collins is one of these like high level Ivy League, like top of the line, mainstream academics. And Bart Ehrman interviewed him, and he said Judaism didn't even exist until like the 160s. I was like, let's go. Because I know that I'm not the one who like pioneered these ideas, but I'm part of the vehicle that's pushing this out there. People need to know this. People need to know that the history that they're being told, because Christianity depends on this history. It depends on thinking that Moses wrote the Torah and all this stuff that King David did is real, and all this stuff about happened in Israel is real. It's all fake. It's all fabricated. It's all pseudo. And now finally academics are coming along and going, the evidence is fucking true. It's just true. There's no evidence. Elephantine destroys all this. You go to Elephantine, you dig up the Elephantine, you find all these Jewish texts, and thank you for the super chat. You find all these Jewish texts from the Yehudim. They call themselves Jews. Yehudim.
At Enduring Motifs dropped $10 super chat. Love your channel, man.
Appreciate it. All these and what are they? What are these Yehudim? Right? Oh, we worship Yahweh. Well, we also worship Asherah, and we also worship Osiris. We also worship. And there's no Moses. There's no Abraham. There's no nothing. wake up to the reality that this is all fabricated history. The Bible is fake.
Think about how recent of a development this is. Like Richard C. Miller says, we're still like leaving the final ages of like the religious dark age.
Yes.
Only since like 1999 did Earl Doherty do like the heavenly Jesus mythicism idea, and only like Thomas Thompson and Gad Barnea, Jonathan Adler, who's the other guy you just named that died, Gmerkin. All of this is recent scholarship realizing that it's all fake, way more mythological than biblical studies has ever accepted.
Yeah, dude. And it's gonna take a little bit to sink into people. We've been so brainwashed. They literally took over the minds of the human being to think, like, for example, James Ussher. Let me show you something real quick. This is James Ussher. He's a historian that lived in the 16th century. How big this book is. Big, old, giant book. The Annals of the World, right? Now, why am I bringing this up right now? Because when you open up James Ussher, he starts off his history. He got this whole history book, right? And he starts off his history, volume 1, the origin of the world. And what does he talk about? In the beginning, God created the heaven and earth, the beginning of time. And it's all biblical, Torah, Josephus, Jewish nonsense. And then towards the middle of the book, he starts citing Herodotus and Xenophon and Thucydides. And the chronology is based on a fake pseudo-chronology that's not real. The real chronology is that you get Greek historians first. Herodotus is first, and then Thucydides, then Xenophon, and then you get the Bible. And then they backdate themselves to sound older than they actually are. So we have this brainwashed mentality.
At Jimmy, you 187 dropped $5.
Super just a pile in right now. Thank you, guys.
A video explaining that the Bible is fake?
Yes.
I'm completely ignorant to the idea and trying to get caught up on your videos.
Go to my video that's called, just type in Gad Barnea. Type in Gad Barnea in my search engine. That's the video that I really.
I had you on and had you talk just about that topic one time also.
Or go to your channel and watch you and me. Yes, good point. Thank you for that super chat. And then last one, maybe Caesar's Messiah was partly right, and they sacrificed the temple to empower Christianity, but he was wrong for blaming Romans instead of Jews. So I will say this about Caesar's Messiah or the whole Roman provenance thing, is that I think there is some truth to the idea that the gospel authors who are Jewish were associated and affiliated with Roman high-level aristocracy, intelligentsia, who were essentially going against their fellow Romans and trying to come up with. These were people who were like traitors to the Roman people, who were anti-Julian Claudian dynasty, anti-Roman imperial cult. They were very monistic in their worldview, and I think there might be some truth to the idea that whoever wrote the Gospels was affiliated with some people in the Roman intelligentsia. Why do I know that? Because Tiberius Julius Alexander, who is the nephew of Philo of Alexandria, the philosopher who invented the idea of the Logos being the Son of God, Christian theology essentially, his nephew was the guy who knocked down the temple with Titus Caesar, a half Jew, half Greek. So there were these people who were like Tiberius Alexander, who were essentially trying to move on from temple Judaism, but they wanted to produce a universal Judaism. So, thank you for that. Any thoughts on that?
The idea that they sacrificed the temple to spread Christianity, I don't think so. No. There is a story in the Talmud about how it was like the revolutionaries burnt the food, destroyed the food, and forced Judea to fight and rebel against the Romans. So it was like instigated a little bit, but I think that's because they believed like war of sons of light and sons of darkness, that God was going to come and intervene if they had some big war with Rome, and it didn't happen, and then they had to come up with new copes. But no, I don't think I don't think there's much truth at all to Caesar's Messiah or Roman providence.
No, that's as far as I'll go. What I just said, it's mostly nonsense. The idea that Vespasian's the Messiah is all nonsense. The idea that they Romans invented Christianity to sort of quell the Jewish stuff is so backwards and nonsense. Let me make that clear. I'm just trying to level with this person and say, yeah, there might be some truth to some of this stuff, but it's not what you think.
Stage, Western countries, Asaph, Edom. I'll take that one. That's what I want to see.
Meaning they're going to get killed in the end because God is going to go on the side of probably China, wipe out the whole West. Why? Because of the destruction of the Second Temple, which is still a debt they never paid, and because of the persecution. You know, all that persecution the Jews have gone through is still a bill.
What do you think about that?
It's kind of funny because they say that it's like God acting through the divine persecution of Esau that hates Jacob like a law of nature. So it's like it's God doing it, but they're also going to be blamed and scapegoated for it and destroyed. So I do just want to say too, you see the logo up at the top there, see through it all. This is one of my top guys that's suffered through watching all these rabbi videos on YouTube to bring all these highlights and clips. And also I want to clarify that it's not just like one crazy rabbi that we found that says these sort of things. We do compilations and got hours of tons of different rabbis all saying the exact same stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, this is just like, I don't know how, like, you can tell this guy is like intelligent. Like, he's not like, he doesn't sound stupid, but he's so indoctrinated and so.
He's a prophecy mind control victim just as much as the Christians are, basically.
You
They're
can see
all
it.
under this prophecy spell.
It's so crazy. Yeah. Oh, we got a couple super chats that just came in. Let's do this one first. Doc Pluromana, big fan of the channel. I'm a big fan of him, actually.
$10 super chat. As someone from a Jewish family, not religious, modern Zionism is irredentist nationalism, aka fascism.
Yeah.
Don't feel like being anti-Semitic. It's infected the orthodoxy, sadly.
Oh, they came in at the same time. My bad. I thought there was two of. I didn't know there was two of the exact same time. I'll go back to yours in a second. Thank you there. Thank you for that.
And Doc Plurimanort dropped $10 super chat.
Appreciate you,
Have
man.
you read Escaping from Eden by Paul Wallace? Derek interviewed him.
I'm
It
familiar with
reworks and text through an ET lens. Wild. But does it accidentally reveal just how malleable these traditions really are?
There you go. Yeah, I haven't read the book, so I'm not going to talk too much about it. But on face value, the whole alien, the Bible, alien stuff, doesn't sound convincing to me. But I have to read the book first before I even talk about it. So I'm just trying to be fair. I can't talk too much about Paul Wallace. He seems like a good guy. Seems pretty fair. So I'm not going to talk bad about him. However, what you just said right there, it does kind of reveal these texts are so malleable and they can mean so they're so vague and they can mean so many things to so many people. And that's why you have all these sects and denominations. They all believe in different things because they get it all from the Bible. Right? Like, look at Amon Hillman. The whole Bible is about drugs and sex and stuff because he can just cherry pick verses that have certain things being said. And then he convinces people that the whole thing is about this. You know?
This sounds like Anunnaki, fallen angels, Nephilim stuff, escaping from Eden.
It is.
Does Genesis teach that the human race was created by God or Dude, that's so funny. I was joking about my stream today about if it's not Genesis and you don't believe in abiogenesis and natural evolution, what do you think? ETs came here and like engineered us did God in a laboratory have his little tweezers and he put the chemicals together and built the first cell? That's how you think happened?
That's the only other option you have, and there's no evidence for that. You know what I mean? It's just a theory. It's just like a crazy theory people think about. So thank you for the super chat. I agree with you 100%. The texts are completely vague and malleable. You can make any theology you want, and you can find evidence in the Bible to make it work. That's how vague that's how widespread all these texts. That's how contradictory the Bible actually is when you actually understand it. Liza Patron, thank you for this 10. As someone from a Jewish family, not religious, modern Zionism is irredentist nationalism, aka fascism. Don't feel like you're being anti-Semitic. It's infected the orthodoxy sound. I appreciate this a lot. Hearing someone say this to me, because all we're doing is we're pointing out, look at this rabbi. This guy thinks that that I need to suffer. I have every right to respond to this guy. If you think this is anti-Semitic, fuck you. Sorry. I'm going to keep doing it. You know what I mean?
I got something to say on that though. Like she says, modern Zionism is nationalism. I just think nationalism and chosen people and the holy people, like that's kind of just inherent in Judaism, period, and in the Torah. Yeah. I don't differentiate between like a modern Zionism bad and not real Judaism. Like I think it's just Judaism. Like this is a manifestation, a political Judaism.
Judaism creates Zionism, and not just the Jews that do this. What do you think the Crusades was other than Zionism? Duh. Isn't that weird how all these Christians, Orthodox Christians, Catholics will sit there and talk shit about Zionism when 1,000 years of your history was your church trying to take back Jerusalem from the Muslims? Are you a fucking hypocrite or what? And
they still say it sometimes. They go, we need to make it a Christian state.
Dude, those same fucking people who hate what the Jews are doing to the Muslims will sit there and go, the Crusades was actually justified. The fuck are you talking about? You're a Zionist.
And Christians believe that Jesus is going to return to that same place, the Mount of Olives.
You are the original Zionist. You Christian, you Catholic, you Orthodox Christian, you are the original Zionist. You're following the original Zionist. And
I say all Christians are Zionists. Zionism is just Judaism, and all Christians worship the God of Zion who dwells in Zion. They believe the law comes forth from Zion. You're a Zionist, in my opinion.
It's called the Holy Land. You believe in this land is holy. You believe it belongs to your church or your people or your whatever. You guys are all fighting over this shit because you're all brainwashed by this text. You're all the same to me. None of you look different. Christian, Muslim, Jew. To me, they're all the same.
Rastafari.
Yeah. You guys are all the same to me, dude.
They love Zion too.
Yeah.
They're
guys
the real
lost.
Zionist. Bob Marley.
There was 10 crusades. I think the Christians lost 7 of them. So you're still following this tradition that lost Jerusalem to a bunch of Arabs from the desert. When the Romans before this would conquer the world with ease, unstoppable, taking over anything they wanted, and then in 625, a bunch of Arabs come out of the desert and conquer Jerusalem. They conquer Antioch, Syria. They conquer Damascus. They conquer Alexandria. They conquer Cyrene. They conquer Carthage. They go to Spain. They go most of Asia Minor, Pergamum, Edessa, Cappadocia. We're on our fingers. Pontus, Nicaea, with a Nicene Creed, or with a Nicene. That's that area, Muslim. Constantinople, Muslim. And then you try to take it all back with these crusades, and you lost 7 out of 10 of them. When you did win a crusade, you couldn't hold it. The longest they held the French crusaders did a pretty good job. The longest they can hold it for was like 900 years. Or I'm sorry, 90 years.
We've talked about this on stream before too. Like, when did Zionism start? It started when Joshua took the Promised Land?
Yes.
Is that when it started? Did it start when they left Egypt?
Yes.
Did it start when they returned after the Babylonian exile? Like it didn't start in 200 years ago. It's inherent.
Go and take their fucking land. It's yours now. Like that's it. That's the whole program.
The nation's borders, like nationalism, didn't start with modern Zionism. It's God gave the borders for the nation.
This is why I agree. This is why I agree with the Baptist and evangelicals who are Zionists, because they're just following what the text tells them to do. The Holy Land belongs to the Jews, and they're just going, "We believe." Like I'm not saying I support it. I'm saying I know why they're doing this. The Christians that oppose Zionism are contradictory to their own Bible, because either they want it themselves or whatever. Like, you understand what I'm saying? That Zionism is part of the Bible. It's actually the main core of the Bible. It's the main character of the Bible. Does that make sense?
Yeah, there's verses that says he's going to like rule in Zion forever. the king on his holy mountain, dwell in Zion eternally forever, those type of things. The kingdom that will never be destroyed. But I mean, you said Christian interpretation believes that like the temple was destroyed and Jesus is the heavenly temple now and they're the spiritual Israel. So it's not necessary. The only way in the sense that some Christians are Zionists is that they think that the Antichrist has to rule in Zion with some temple before Jesus returns. So it's anti-prophecy, but it's still fulfilling prophecy. It's like a superficial. Oh, sorry.
But they still, for most of Christian history, wanted to continue to control Jerusalem, the church. So they're still Zionist. Even if today they're just jealous that they're not the ones controlling Zion anymore. It's the Jews now. See what I'm saying?
At Liza Patron dropped $10 super chat. What I meant was there were Zionists that believed in a secular state that wouldn't oppress Palestinians, Einstein, but we saw who won the argument in 1948. So modern meaning post 1948.
I've said this before. If you can come up with a constitution because right now, here's the thing. There are Jews living in Israel who were born there and their parents, sometimes we're getting to the point now where their parents might have been born there too. If not, their parents came there in the 1940s or whatever. But these people were born there. They don't know anything else besides Israel. They speak Hebrew. They live in Israel. This is reality now. We can talk about 1917 and all that stuff. We could talk about all that stuff. I don't really care anymore. Right now, we're in 2026. This is the reality now. But here's the thing. What the Jews are doing is fucked up right now. It's fucked up. What they're doing with Palestine, what they're doing with Gaza is fucked up. If we can come up with that, if they can come up with some sort of constitution republic where Muslims, Palestinians, and Jews are all equal under one law.
And Jimmy, you were 187.
But you know what?
Dropped $5.
The Jews don't want that. They want to be. They think it's their land, and the Muslims are second class.
Sure. It's hard to understand that.
I don't want to get too political, but that's my thoughts on it. I think the solution would be a constitutional republic. Everyone who lives there is all equal under one law. I don't care if you're Palestinian. I don't care if you're African. I don't care if you're fucking Jewish. That's what needs to happen over there. It's just my thoughts.
The political conflict over there is messy enough, but to throw in like apocalyptic prophecy, people influencing thing. Even some of the former prime ministers in Israel have criticized like the messianic rabbis around Netanyahu, and that he said like Ehud Barak said they want to ignite the Middle East to like hasten the Messiah. So I would be happy to see all countries become less believing in apocalyptic end times prophecies and fighting over who the true Messiah is or who's satanic or who has the covenant. Less religion, more secular, and things would be a lot less cooler over there.
Yeah. By the way, the next super chat is super fun. This is mind blowing. People think Christianity is unifying people because it's not. They said, Jim says, did one of the Crusades sack Constantinople? I've heard that. I'm not sure. It's hard to understand that. Abso-fucking-lutely. And it's worse than you can ever imagine. It's called the Fourth Crusade. The Crusaders, instead of going to Jerusalem, they went to Constantinople, where the Orthodox Christians lived. The capital of the Romans, Europeans, Christians, people like themselves. And what did they do? They sacked the city and made it the Latin Empire. They made it this. They completely destroyed the Roman Empire in 1204 for a temporary time being. Now what happened later was Paleologus, the Paleologus dynasty took it back. But then after that, it was never the same ever again. It was destroyed. It was a crumbling empire from that time forward. But here's the thing. So there are a lot of scholars who think this was the end of the Roman Empire. They say 1453 it's just a corpse being led from one tomb to another. That's what they say. Now, what happened? What happened? The primary sources talk about Christians from the West, Latin Crusaders, raping and pillaging and stealing everything from Constantinople. Thousands of women were raped. They found valuable relics from the ancient Greek world. I wonder if I can find this right here. This is one of the things they stole. This is one of the things that goes back to the ancient Greek world. They call them the horses of St. Mark, but it actually goes back to the Hellenistic period. They stole this and brought it to Venice. Most of the stuff they stole, they melted down to get gold. And what happened was they had relics from like 400, 300 BC, like statues of Aphrodite, statues of Apollo, and they melted them all down. They destroyed our history. People think that Muslims were doing this now. Oh, they're destroying all these sites, all these temples, all these great UNESCO sites. The Muslims are destroying it. That's what you guys fucking did, Christians. You guys did this for most of human history. You destroyed everything.
They broke off the noses, as I learned in the Dark Ages, the Darkening Age, a really good book about this. The Christians destroyed the pagan statues. They chopped off their noses. And that's in the Talmud. It says that's what you do to idolatrous statues.
Exactly. They got it from this is where they got the idea from. Look at this. Famous bronze horses from the Hippodrome were sent back to adorn the facade of St. Mark's Basilica. So they kept that alive, but they stole it. Look at this though. Works of considerable artistic value were destroyed for their material value, including precious bronze statue of Hercules, created by the legendary Lysippos, court sculptor of fucking Alexander the Great. You know how mad this makes me get? Do you understand how mad I am just thinking about this right now?
Well, at least they still have it. It's in Venice.
No, they don't. Not this one.
It says it remains to this day.
The
one horses remain to this day.
No, the horses. Yes, I said that. The horses remain.
The rest of it was destroyed.
Bronze statue of Heracles, created by someone who was at the court of Alexander the fucking Great. They burned it. They melted it down for gold, dude. It's gone. Look at.
Oh yeah.
Were destroyed for their material value. Precious bronze statue of Hercules, created by a legendary sculptor. Someone who knew and talked to Alexander the fucking Great. They destroyed it because it was pagan. Watch this. I gotta show you guys this. Think
of all the Alexander the Great writings they either destroyed, statues they destroyed, or just didn't preserve, and then the Christians sit around today online and go, "There's way more proof for Jesus than Alexander the Great."
I know exactly. You don't even know how bad it was. Watch this. This video breaks down what was stolen, what was burnt, what was melted. Watch this. This is going to make you sick.
So they destroyed or desecrated a vast quantity of them, to the dismay of the local populace.
1.5 speed.
And yet, the biggest tragedy was what they did to the numerous bronze works of art throughout the city. Giant statues, symbolizing authority, beauty, strength, and wisdom, were thrown into the smelters and melted down to be turned into cheap copper coins. Among them were a statue of Hera, charioteers, a man wrestling with a lion, a monument celebrating Actium, a statue of Aphrodite, being handed the golden apple of discord by Paris of Troy, a bronze statue of the she-wolf suckling the founders of Rome, a tetrapylon built by Theodosius with a beautiful facade that depicted birds, sheep, lamb, fish, as well as mythological creatures and figures, with a large bronze pyramid and a female figure that acted as a weather vane, showing the direction of the wind.
For money.
This is just the beginning of the list.
This is just the
Among the
beginning of
lost
the list.
cultural items was a crocodile with prickly bronze scales, clutching a struggling African buffalo in its jaws. The Nile bull, as the locals called it, attempted to break free by biting the crocodile, both killing each other in the process, neither achieving its goal. Another smelted art piece was a large statue that stood at the base of the Forum of Theodosius, depicting the hero of the ancient Greek myth, Bellerophon, as he gazed towards the sun, riding the winged Pegasus, alongside a large bronze eagle with extended wings and a coiled snake in its claws. The latter also served as a sundial, with its wings split into 12 sections, from which the observer could determine the hour of the day. Also lost was a massive bronze sculpture made by the legendary Lysippos, the personal sculptor of Alexander the Great, whose pupil constructed the Colossus of Rhodes.
We already heard that one.
Lysippos created a giant Heracles with a lion skin over him and a club in his hands. His shin was as tall as a man, and a man's belt could go around his thumb. The masterpiece was cut piece by piece and thrown into the fire like all the rest. Sphinxes, sea monsters, and other mythological creatures were also destroyed. For the description of the last notable statue, we turn to the contemporary chronicler. What of the white-armed, beautiful-ankled, and long-necked Helen, who mustered the entire host of the Hellenes and overthrew Troy, whence she sailed to the Nile, and after a long absence, returned to the abodes of the Laconians? Was she able to placate the implacable? Was she able to soften those men whose hearts were made of iron? On the contrary, she who had enslaved every onlooker with her beauty was wholly unable to achieve this, even though she was apparelled ornately. Though fashioned of bronze, she appeared as fresh as the morning dew, anointed with the moistness of erotic love on her garment, veil, diadem, and braid of hair. Her vesture was finer than spider webs, and the veil was cunningly wrought in its place. The diadem of gold and precious stones which bound the forehead was radiant, and the braid of hair that extended down to her knees, flowing down and blowing in the breeze, was bound tightly in the back with a hairband. The lips were like flower cups, slightly parted as though she were about to speak. The graceful smile. Others were hanged immediately. One of the primary contemporary chroniclers, Nikitas Koniates, describes an event from which we can draw several conclusions. As he and his wife were attempting to leave the city 5 days after it fell, they saw a young girl who was grabbed by a knight and dragged through the streets until he barred the door of his newfound home with her inside. The act was reported.
You're on mute. You're muted.
This is primary sources from 1204 talking about how these crusaders were coming in and dragging women by their hair, taking them and bringing them away, bringing them back to France and Germany and shit, just to go whatever, just to make them their slaves. And then they would take all the wealth, all these valuable relics. Imagine today, if you and I sacked the Vatican right now, we sacked the Vatican and we took all the holy relics in the Vatican and melted them down for gold. That's what happened.
Sounds pretty good. No, I'm just kidding.
Isn't that crazy though?
You know, I've been to the Vatican Museum, and it's just like room after room, every single thing. Sculpture of Jesus, wood carving of Jesus, every single thing is Jesus. All art got replaced to honoring the Jewish Messiah.
Yeah.
And fulfilling the prophecy of the Gentiles burying their idols too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Crazy. Jim, thank you for the 10. A little off topic. I took Mesoamerican history in college, and there was an event July 12th, 1562, where most of Mayan history was destroyed. See? No, they don't care about anything but their own shit. They don't care if it's not Christian or Jewish, if it's not a Jewish relic, if it's not some saint. They don't care.
Think about how the Catholic missionaries went all over the world to try to teach everybody about Jesus, and then their cultures and religions and traditions were, covered up, destroyed, forgotten,
or rewritten in a Christian way or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Norse mythology. They destroyed all the texts from the Norse mythology, and they rewrote Odin to be a follower of Christ or something like that. It's just crazy what they do. It's just crazy. It's nuts, bro. It should it should make you want to think about these things a little deeper. But it surprises me how much people defend this stuff. You get people you get these Twitter accounts. I can't think of their names. If I was on Twitter, I'd be able to pull them up. I don't think about these people that much, but they defend this stuff. They were they show pictures of themselves knocking down sacred trees and yeah. I'm like, you guys fucking suck. You guys hate European culture.
Yeah.
You guys suck. I don't like you. I hate you. I don't want anything to do with you. But anyways, thank you for the super chat. We'll keep playing this clip.
At face 8,968 dropped $2 super chat. Nietzsche shows Rome and Judea are still at war.
Yes, Nietzsche did talk about this. This is very, very relevant to what we're reading right now. Nietzsche did mention this. There's one more super chat actually. Thank you for that.
At agro_mage dropped $5 super chat. They bury their idols while English kings claimed descent from Woden until 12th century.
Mm-hmm. That's very true. He became a progenitor of the race. He was no longer a god. He just became an ancestor, which is so fucked up if you think about that. That's so fucked up. I don't agree with that. Jesus, you guys are laying them on me tonight, dude. I appreciate it, dude. Tepo, thank you.
At Tepo_ dropped $10 super chat. Makes you wonder how many ancient artifacts the Vatican could have hidden away.
Yes, it really does. It really, 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 really does. Thank you, Tepo. Appreciate that. Let's keep going.
Still a bill that has to go.
I don't hear it.
Him is paying the bill. God
There it
will
is.
take revenge
Oh, okay.
against all.
Wipe out the whole West. Why? Because of the destruction of the Second Temple, which is still a debt they never paid, and because of the persecution. You know, all that persecution that Jews come through is still a bill. It's still a bill that has to get
You hear that?
paid by the West.
Hashem now is going to close the accounts with every person, every nation, every leader, everything. Now Hashem is paying the bills.
Wait, did you just say they're going to close their accounts? Did I hear
Pay
that?
their
Right?
dues. They got to pay their dues.
Let's see that again.
Get paid by the West.
Hashem now is going to close the accounts with every person, every nation, every leader, everything. Now Hashem is paying the bills. God.
Hold on. They even say they believe, because they believe in Gilgal reincarnation, that all of the Gentiles, the Edomites that persecuted them in their exile, their fourth exile in Edom, are going to reincarnate in the end time for the end times war, so that they could be destroyed.
Damn.
Will take revenge against all the Gentiles, descendants of Esau.
You hear that? The descendants of Aesop, which is us, you and me. We got to pay for this. They want us to pay for something.
Not really descendants of Esau.
No,
Esau
sorry.
didn't exist, and
They're
we're not even Roman. But yeah,
actually,
that's who they're
I
referring to.
technically
The
am.
West.
I'm Italian and Greek. So
Greek.
A piece of me at least has to pay for this, according to them. But they don't think of that way. They think of all of us. They don't care if you're Norse, you're 100% Scandinavian. You have to pay for Rome. That's how they think of all of us, because we're all from Christendom. You know what I mean?
Called today Christians for the Holocaust, for the Inquisitions, for the destruction of the temples, for many, many things that they still have an open bill. Still don't pay for it. Who is
bill.
Esau?
You know what's crazy about that? It's an open bill. How did we not pay for it by your ancestors, a couple of 100 years later, conquering us spiritually? Don't you think we paid enough for that? But no, we didn't. We need to pay more. When's enough?
Monotheism dropped $5 super chat. Dogmatism is the problem. Appreciate your high IQ nuance takes.
Thank you. And I don't know if my IQ is that high, but I appreciate that.
Put it on my tab, Rabbi Mizrachi.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Here's what I don't understand. When do they think we pay? I'm curious. I would love to get this. Who is this guy? What's this guy's name? You know his name?
Rabbi Mizrachi.
Mizrachi. If you ever watch this, when is the bill paid? Is it all of us being dead? Because we're all worshiping your God. At least I'm not. But my whole fucking culture worships your God. When the fuck are we paid enough? I want to know. When is it? When is it? Is it when we all die? Or is it something else? Do you have a number? Do you have an idea in your head? When is the payment? This doesn't make any sense to me.
All the Europeans are children of Esau.
You hear that? I just said that. All the Europeans are children of Esau. That's it. We all have to pay, even though we had nothing to do with it. Especially like the Germanic pagans who weren't even part of the Roman Empire in 70 AD. Like someone living in Scandinavia. What the fuck did they dip? What they have to pay too? This is nonsense. This is such low tier. This guy's an idiot. This guy his brain is mush. His brain is mush.
France, England, French people.
You can tell by looking at his face that he's fucking dumb too, by the way. This guy. Can you see my
He
mouse
knows
right
a
now?
lot about Judaism. He's a Judaism expert.
Yeah,
He's
but you
very
can tell
popular.
by looking at his face that he's got the brain of a fucking mouse or a goldfish or something. He's stupid. Well, he's
Eddie
smart.
Munster.
He's smart enough to memorize some Torah stuff, but he's fucking dumb. He can't think deeply.
People, Danish people, Swedish
Doesn't
people.
even have a beard.
Dude, I was like half joking. He literally lumped in Swedish people. Listen.
All the Europeans are children of Esav. Russia, France, England, French people, Danish people, Swedish people, Scandinavians.
Does he not know that Scandinavia and Sweden was not part of the Roman Empire in 70 AD? Does he not know that? This is crazy. What are you going to add on Mars next? Well, if let's say the EU or the UN. Let's see the super chat.
At Alexander Victor 4310 dropped $5 super chat. To the sons of the Amorites, you have, nor will ever win. Never have you won, and in the end, your God will collect the blood pact you made. Ayat.
Huh. I think he's talking about the sons of the Amorites being the Judeans. Yeah, sure. Thank you for this. Thank you for the $5. Appreciate that. Appreciate the support. Aggro.
At aggro_mage dropped $2 super chat.
They hate us because they ain't us.
Hail Woden.
They hate us because they ain't us. Hell
That's
yeah.
what they say about us too.
That's
They say
fucking
we're
true, though.
jealous of that they're God's people.
That's fucking true. There's one more after that. You guys are pouring them in tonight. I fucking love it. Cheers.
It's cool you're streaming more at night. I told you to do that. I like having shows.
What's your idea? I need to get you on more. I want you on more, bro.
$5 super chat. The bill is paid. The world has been duped into accepting a Messiah. Reject and you will be separated from the wheat. No one knows identity of Jesus.
Thank you, Brandon, for that. Yeah, the bill is paid. The world has been duped. Exactly. That's exactly what I've been saying. The bill is paid. Now you owe us. You owe us. You owe us. That's what I would say. By the way, since there's 1,200 people watching right now, 876 on YouTube, about 400 on X. I don't know how X works. Maybe they're not 400. Yo, there's a website, nomorenews.org. You get the YouTube, you get the X, you get the BitChute, you get the Odyssey, all that. My man, Adam Green, and the book. Look at that. Get the book. Let's pull that up. Actually, when you put on Amazon, when you pull up
It was
Amazon,
a number one bestseller in biographies of Judaism, which is perfect because Jesus is basically a midrashic biography from Judaism, from Scripture.
By the way, I just wanted you guys to understand something. Can you show them the part that I contributed? Can you pull it up?
I mean, it's a whole chapter, the pagan parallel chapter.
Yes, that's all. You don't have to show them, but you can just tell them. I contributed a chapter, and Adam edited it. He added his own twist. He wrote the stuff. So, but I did contribute a lot to a chapter. Let's put it that way. That's probably the best way to put it. It's Adam's writing. It's Adam's words. It's Adam's thoughts. It's Adam's final editorial. But the whole book's Adam. There was one chapter that I contributed to. So if you think that my work is worth buying as far as text wise, get Adam's book. I'm telling you, I'm reading it, and that's really good. It's really, really good. I think it's the best mythicist book out right now of all time. I think you've surpassed Richard Carrier and Fitzgerald. I do not.
If it's just arguing just mythicism, because it does a little more than just going over every detail of Jesus mythicism. It's more like talks about the political, the big picture. It's a little different, but there's a lot of mythicist books, incorporated and studied.
Is Amazon the best place to go?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
So go to Amazon and get the book right now from Adam Green. Get the Jesus Deception. Get it right now.
Dropped $10.
Dr. Thank you for super chat.
Turning Obadiah and Isaiah 34 into reincarnated Edomites is bizarre. Ancient poetic trash talk turned into soul tracking. No textual basis, just a label you can slap on anyone and call it prophecy.
Exactly. Absolutely. This is 100% fact what you just said. Oh, god damn. Oh, $100 super.
At OFOG dropped $100 super chat. Love the book, Adam. Neil, I need yours.
It's coming. It's coming. I'm working on it. I'm already at 1,000 pages. I'm already at 1,000. Oh, I'm sorry. Pages. Words. words. I'm at 1,000, or no,
Way more than
100,000
that.
words. 100,000 words.
Yeah.
I'm brain fart. I'm at 100,000 words right now in my script that I'm writing. 100,000 words. That's how I cannot, and I still have more to say. This is going to take me a lot. It's going to be a bit. I might have to divide up into 2 volumes, maybe. I haven't decided yet. But the book is about the takeover of what we call Judeo-Christianity over the world. That's what it's about. That's the whole premise of the book. How did this little idea from Jerusalem spread and convince people and somehow get people to decide this was the truth rather than their own ancestral customs? That's my book, and it's coming out very soon. I actually have the opening chapter, and I have 2 chapters leaked on my Twitter. You can find my Twitter in the link in the description. I have 2 chapters leaked. One chapter is about the James Frazier, and I try to tell people James Frazier is more right than you think, and all these biblical scholars that get divinity school graduates that are really not that well read in the sources, they're being taught James Frazier is outdated and wrong, but they can't tell you why, because he's actually right about a lot of shit. And I get into that, and there's scholars that back me up on this too. So this is a good question right here.
And Jimmy, your 187 dropped $2 super chat. Are you Gnostic?
Sure you want to answer that question? No, I'm just
Is
kidding.
it for me?
No, it's for me. Yes, I am a Gnostic because I believe in knowledge over faith. And by the way, that's all that defines you as a Gnostic in the ancient world. That's why there's so many groups that are called Gnostic in the heresiologist books that have nothing to do with each other. A Sethian is nothing like a Valentinian. A Valentinian is nothing like a Nicene. A Carpocratian is nothing like a Basilidian. They have nothing in common. But the only thing they have in common is they believe that knowledge was salvation, not faith. So in that sense, I am a Gnostic. I believe in knowledge over faith. So yes.
But you're not into like the Gnostic Jesus text, though.
I don't have to be.
No.
To be a Gnostic, you don't have to be. I'm not a
I just
Christian.
changed my bio to unorthodox, secular, pagan, so I'll stick with that for right now.
Yeah. No. So as my Christian Gnostic, no. Do I believe in knowledge over faith? Yes, absolutely.
But when you started your channel, you were like leaving Christian. You had left Christianity, and that was like one of your transition spots. Your final bus stops, train stops before you completely abandoned the Judeo paradigm.
And I have a lot of love for the Gnostics because what they did was they read the Old Testament and they said this is wrong. They read the Old Testament and they said there's something wrong here. There's something dark here. I don't believe it. I'm going to say this is a demon. This is Yaldabaoth. And because of that, I respect what they were doing because I get it because they're right. There is something wrong with going on
with Yahweh.
With Yahweh. Elijah being called Baldy by a bunch of little kids. And what does he do? He slaughters them with she-bears? What? Or Yahweh saying, I'm a jealous God. You can't worship any God but me. It's evil. So I believe in the Gnostic worldview to that extent. But you get what I'm saying. There's more. I continue to keep the name for several reasons. Let's put it that way. Damn, the supers are piling on me tonight, dude. You guys won't stop. Love it. Thank you, Lizard Patron.
At Lizard Patron dropped $10 super chat. It's crazy how my father's generation knew all of this shit. It's more a sign of our declining society than anything.
Yeah.
The liberal arts are essentially all about this stuff, but that's gay.
Yes. That's gay. That's gay. I love that. Thank you for that. I appreciate
you.
You
Have idiocracy in the courtroom.
Yeah.
And he sounds like a too.
Yeah, it's so true. Let's keep going with this clip, right? This is just go. We didn't even crack. We still have so much more to go too.
United States, all the Americans, not the blacks. The blacks came from Africa, from Ham. But all the white people in America are all children of Esav. Dutch, German, Irish, British. They're all from Esav.
In all those
Wait, whoa. We got to pause that for a second.
Brought about so much pain and suffering.
Did he just say everyone in America needs to pay except for the blacks? What? So it doesn't matter if you're from Scandinavia. Doesn't matter if you're from Hawaii. What about Hawaiians?
No.
What about the Native
They're not
Americans?
responsible.
Yeah.
Asians not responsible. But it's funny, they go, oh, it's not like they're Ham, so like they don't think anything bad about them. Like they believe in the curse of Ham, that they're meant to be slaves to Japheth.
What are the Hawaiians? Are they Shem? What are they? They're not. They don't fall into your three people paradigm.
They didn't know he existed. They didn't know that those islands existed. They thought it was the end of the world and it was flat at that point.
Exactly. It debunks your Bible, Hawaii's existence. I mean, they did technically come from Southeastern Asia. They got on boats and got there. So I guess they technically would be Shem, but it's just silly. It's silly. You guys are dumb. You haven't thought about this. You haven't thought about this stuff. You guys are just saying nonsense.
On the Jewish people will be punished.
Wait, what do you say?
In all those goyim.
Whoa!
Brought about so much.
All children.
Wait, whoa! What did he just say? Let's watch that one more time.
Of Esav. Dutch, German, Irish, British. They're all from Esav.
In all those goyim.
All those goyim. You guys know what goyim means, right? It's anyone but Jewish. It's all the nations. He just said all the goyim.
Who brought about so much pain and suffering on the Jewish people will be punished.
And who's that? Are you gonna rip up the graves from the ground? Who did this stuff? Because we didn't do it. Idiot.
Every square inch of Europe is drenched with Jewish blood. So I'm not envious of anybody living in Europe at this time.
You are certain this is gonna happen? I'm not envious that you're gonna pay for something that you didn't do, that your ancestors might have did, but you didn't do it. I'm not envious of you. That's some sick fucking thinking right there.
It's crazy that there's all this talk going on all over Rabbi YouTube, and it's kind of gone under the radar.
And no one knows. That's why I wanted to do a stream tonight. You've been showing this shit to the world, and you're getting criticized for it, even by Christians calling you Jewish when you're literally playing clips of rabbis. It's so crazy.
Their cope is they go, Adam believes the rabbis. And I go,
they're not. It's not about believing them. It's about hearing what they're fucking saying. You idiots.
Yeah.
They're taking credit for you, idiot. They think you're. You ever heard this phrase that people in the ghetto say? I put a battery in his back. 50 Cent has a song, Battery. I put the battery in his back. There's a reason why he's acting like that. He's my motherfucking toy soldier. You're a toy soldier. They put the battery in your back so you can go out to the world and spread the message of the Bible. You're a toy soldier for something above you. You're a pawn in the scheme of something greater than you. That's what you are, Christian.
Great it will be the day that Hashem will take all your filthy people, include your children, and destroy all of them for what you did, breaking his temple and killing his children. The Greeks, and after that the Romans, destroying us, destroying Bet HaMikdash, killing our children, throwing us out of Israel. We could not live in our own land. We didn't have a temple for 2,000 years. Anti-Semitism all over the world. Nobody ever left us alone. There wasn't a perfect salvation. But the final salvation, the third temple that we will be built, will never be destroyed again. And there will never be anti-Semitism. There will not be one anti-Semitism.
Isn't that funny that he's got a laurel wreath behind him, which is like a total pagan Apollonian symbol? What is that for? What's going on there?
My Gentile remained in the world.
The only way any among the nations could be saved, now listen up, if that's you, is if they did not partake in the oppression of Israel.
So wait a minute. So we're saying that no one is going to pay for this? That doesn't make any sense.
Anybody that takes a stance against Jews, they have very big problems.
Wait, what if the Jews are performing, I don't know, a genocide or something, or waging war against another nation that affects my country's economy, then are we allowed to speak out? Or no, we have big problems. That's what he says.
Okay, and we will see them. It's going to be a public judgment.
So you can't even speak out against a Jew, and you're going to die, is what that guy just said.
For a day approaches, the day of Hashem approaches on all the nations of Edom. Precisely how they dealt with the Jewish population throughout history is precisely how they are going to themselves be treated in the end of days. And he gives this example of a giant goblet. And every time an Edomite nation caused pain against the Jewish people, the blood, so to speak, from that pain was extracted
Jimmy,
and
187 dropped $10 super chat. He's creating a permission structure for taking action against those who speak out against Israel.
Exactly. This is the eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth mentality. There's a reason why our ancestors, our real Greek ancestors in the Hellenistic period, decided to move beyond this idea, because there used to be lex talionis. This is an old Latin law code. Let me show you guys right now what I'm talking about.
Curse them and you'll be cursed. Bless them and you'll be blessed. That's kind of the theme, underlying theme and attitude here.
Yeah, there was a universal code that goes back very, very far. The Code of Hammurabi is one of them. Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. The Bible definitely. But even in the Mediterranean world, the Latins had the law of exact retaliation called lex talionis, reciprocal justice. Now, I do believe this is a just way to do things in the here and now, not for people who lived 7,000 years ago or 200 years ago or even 60 years ago. I believe a living soul, is responsible for what they do in their lives. That's why I say. So they're taking it beyond the universal lex talionis. They're doing some other shit right now. They're doing some really sketchy shit if you think about it. So that's what I want to say about that. Thank you for the super chat.
Into this goblet.
You guys are on fire tonight, by the way.
In the end of days, each nation will be forced to drink its goblet, and they will be destroyed exactly the way they tried to destroy the Jewish people.
Drink his goblet?
It says that they'll drink, they'll become consumed, and they'll be as if they never were.
There's going to be a huge destruction.
Why
It
is it
cannot
frozen?
be a new reality of
Why is
the
it frozen?
redemption without the destruction of the
there
old
it goes.
reality. There's no such a thing. It's not going to overlap. It's going to you have to destroy one reality in order to go to the next reality.
Okay, this clip is great. See through it all. I appreciate you. I want to shout you out. Go to Twitter, find See Through It All. You had a clip that you wanted to present, right?
Yeah, it's another compilation.
Let's go to it. Which one is it? I'm in your messages right now. How many up?
Let's do the one with Netanyahu. Is Netanyahu at war with America? Do that
Okay,
one first.
boom. Let's do that one. Hold on. Netanyahu, where is it? Wait, I just pressed play. Oh, there it goes. Okay. Okay. All right. Let me pause. Let me just share my screen. And where'd it go? Right here. Okay. We press play.
We want to know what you're reading now.
What I'm reading?
Yeah.
It's a book by a historian named Barry Strauss. It's called The Jews Against Rome. Jews Against Rome.
What made you pick it up?
Well, we lost that one. I think we have to win the next one. But the new Rome, the United States, the new Rome, the United States.
We want to know what you're reading now.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's a book by
he might have gone to the bathroom or
historian
something.
named Barry
So
Strauss.
This is the Prime Minister of Israel, in case anybody doesn't know.
Jews Against Rome.
What made you pick it up?
Well, we lost that one. I think we have to win the next one. But the
Wants to
new
win the
Rome,
next
the
war
United
against
States,
Rome.
the new Rome, the United States.
Wait, so what did you say right there? What just happened right there?
They asked him what book he's reading. He said it's one about a war between Judea and Rome, and he says they want to win the next war against Rome. And then in another clip with Pompeo, he identifies America as the new Rome, which is, kind of the universal view in Judaism.
Wow. keep going.
We want to know what you're
No, it's
reading
it. We
now.
already watched it. We watched it twice.
Yeah.
already. It's real short.
Okay.
But if you want another one, go to this one now too. This is another compilation from See Through It All.
You just
I
said
just dropped it in the StreamYard chat.
Okay. All right. See Through It All has been on this stuff, dude. I follow that guy. He's on it. He's on it.
Dude, he's a VIP.
He's been hating on the Apollonian. He's been hating on the Apollonian. I think he's come on, bro. It's not that serious. Leave the Apollonians alone, but it's funny though. It's all fun and games.
He's doing a little trolling.
Because you teach this in your yeshivas. America's Edom. I'm talking again, Orthodox Jews. So you are living currently in Edom. You know this, right? In the fourth exile, which is Edom. We are currently in Galut Edom right now, and we are dealing with them, or God is dealing with them, and don't worry, they will be dealt with.
Yeah, they're the arch enemy of the Jewish people. They are Edom, they are Rome, and they're Rome.
Who's Rome today? Europe and the United States.
When the Torah speaks about Rome, it today refers to America. But America was actually born out of Europe, out of the seat of political power of Europe, which is really Rome.
Rome is...
You know what? I want to say something about this. I want to actually agree for once. I think they're correct. We are the descendants of Rome. I mean, the Roman Empire was the dominant legal structure that sort of dictated how the world was going to work for most of our history, from 200 BC to, I don't know, 16th century. And then even before that, even when the Franks rose up to power in Europe and restored what was called the Holy Roman Empire, they called themselves Romans. They called themselves, so Europe, from Greece over to England, is Rome. So I agree with this. I do agree with this idea. I just disagree with this idea that there should be this whole, like, everything that happened between us and them for centuries up until now has to be tallied down, and there needs to be debts and credits or something. I think that's a stupid, low IQ way of looking at the world. If anything, though, if we're going to do that tally IQ, you owe us. We don't owe you. You've done more damage to us than the other way around. I believe that.
Yeah, get over it.
Yeah,
you gotta let it happen.
Exactly.
Change with Edom.
Oh, wait a minute. You just made a genius point. Because if they're mad at us for conquering them, right? And we're supposed to just allow their traditions to take over our traditions, which is paganism, right? And we're supposed to just accept that because it's justice or whatever. It's the right way or something. And that's not enough for them. That's not enough for them to say the payment's been done. But wait a minute. What you just said right there, their God allowed it. So where's the payment? Who owes anything? If this is your God's plan, why does anyone owe anything? If this was your God's idea to make you guys learn from doing idolatry or whatever the hell your reason, whatever the hell your cope is for the temple falling, we were involved in idolatry. Whatever the hell your cope is, your God decided this was going to happen. So why do we have to pay for it? Makes no sense at all.
Have we not paid off our debt in foreskins to Yahweh already?
How many foreskins have Europeans
paid our debts in foreskins?
Probably millions.
Refers to America. But America was actually born out of Europe, out of the seat of political power of Europe, which is really Rome.
Rome is completely interchanged with Edom. Edom is the absolute arch enemy of the Jewish people to the very end.
They're called Bnei Edom, who are the Westerners. So it's the whole Christian world, whatever it is. It's ancient Europe became modern Europe, became, today's Europe, which spills into...
Just dropped $4.99 super chat. Have y'all seen Ben-Hur? Maybe the first Hollywood Judeo-Christian framing with Jews/Jesus on one side versus Rome.
Have you seen Ben-Hur?
I saw it when I was little, but I don't. All I remember him his ride in the chariot. That's all I remember.
I haven't seen it. What is this? Some famous movie or something?
Mm-hmm.
1959. I guess I can share my screen just to show what I'm saying. I've never seen this. This is a Jewish movie or something? Is that what this is?
I don't know. I don't remember anything in it.
Ben-Hur, 1959, the religious epic film?
A Tale of Christ.
Really?
Charleston Heston.
Oh. I've never seen this before. What is the plot? 3 wise men following a star, blah, 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 blah. I'm good. No, I'm just kidding.
I've heard that story before.
Maybe the first Hollywood Judeo-Christian framing with Jews and Jesus on one side versus Rome. Oh, I can see where he's going with this. Yes.
Ooh.
It's in that 1950s period. It's in that 1950s period when Hollywood really starts to hit a lot of Jewish directors. It's true. I'm just giving a true statement right now. I'm not saying anything about it. I'm just saying we know this. We know there's a whole bunch of, like, how many Jews in the world are there? Do you know?
I think they say like 16 million. 16 million.
What is that? Less than 5%, right?
Less
than
than like 0.02% or something.
Yeah.
$2 super chat.
Less than 1%.
Look up the chariot scene.
Maybe I will. All right, let's see. While I'm looking that up, so they're less than. I'm looking at multitasking. Look how smart I am. They're less than 1% of the empire, or 1% of the world, right? But when you look at Hollywood, goddamn, do they represent Hollywood? So I'm just saying, like, some people have realized, like, a lot of these films are directed by Jews. It's just the way it is, you know. Just saying.
I don't know if it was directed by a Jew, but even a Christian or anybody could recognize that the first Christians was a Jewish messianic movement that was opposed to Rome. So I don't find anything.
Ben-Hur was
controversial there.
directed by William Wyler, a German-born American film director. That's it. That's all it says. Oh, no, never mind. I was wrong. So you just scroll down just a little bit. Wyler was born to a Jewish family, blah, blah, blah. Look, I'm just pointing out facts here. But I will say,
Early life check, man.
Hollywood, after 1948, became really dominated by a lot of fucking Jewish directors. That's just a fact.
Hey, all the Christians, all the e-crusaders that talk about how they believe Jews hate Jesus so much, you're telling me a Jewish director made a pro-Jesus movie against Rome, an anti-Edom pro-Jesus movie? Imagine that.
Imagine that. All right, here we go. I got you.
Nothing they hate more.
Here we go. Here's the race.
No, this is the original.
Yeah, that's from Ben-Hur. That's what we're doing.
Okay. This isn't the one I saw, though.
I'm going to look it up. 1928.
Dude, this is good for 1925.
Great. Fucking phenomenal. All right, look. I'm telling you, Jewish
Coliseum.
These Jewish directors know what the fuck they're doing, man. They know what the fuck they're doing. In Constantinople?
You know, they always say no animals were hurt in the filming of this film. I don't think they could probably say that for
no,
this.
that's a modern thing. Yeah,
they're like, we're gonna have to stab the horse. It's in the script.
Oh, he's got
base
the
wing helmet.
He's got the Mercury helmet. Yeah, that's dope. This is good fucking filming, dude. Good, you can see it. By the way, I'm probably going to get docked for this, so I'm glad you guys all dropped super chats to make up for the loss of watch time ad revenue. Thank you.
This is almost 100. This is over 100 years old, dude. It's fair use.
Maybe. We'll see. Find out.
Who's got some piercing blue eyes going on?
This is there's a way more famous one made after this. It was a remake.
Hold on. Let's see. Jim, are you in the chat? Is this the one you meant? Jim? Are you in the chat, Jim? Is this the one you're talking about?
The famous one is with Charleston Heston. This isn't Charleston Heston.
All right, so let's do this. Let's do this. Let me look up Charleston Heston chariot race.
Yeah, it's in
Oh,
color.
here we go. I got it. Let's do it. Let's do this.
This is the day, Judah. It's between us now. Yes, this is the day.
At Sigmund from the 777 drop $5 super chat. Jews want Europeans to suffer for destroying the Jewish temple built by a Roman. And even though most Jews have 93% European blood.
Yeah.
It's not 93%.
No, it's not 93%.
93%. If it was 94, it would be Gnostic informant. 94%. Minus 6. 94%.
Yeah, no, I think he was being. Yeah. I think he was being. He was over. Being facetious a little bit.
Yeah.
But it is true that most Ashkenazi Jews have a significant amount of European DNA.
It's still I think it's like estimated 20 to 40% or something.
Yeah. I was like 35 at the most.
But it is a good point. They're partially guilty too if we're doing blood libels.
Exactly. That's my point. It's like, are you going to cut off your arm now?
You know what's crazy too? I thought about it for a second. The Bible, the Torah even condemns Deuteronomy 24:16. Fathers shall not be put to death for their children. Nor shall children be put to death for their fathers.
What verse is that?
Deuteronomy 24:16. Each shall be put to death for his own sin.
49:13?
24:16.
24:16?
24:16.
Bro, these fucking Jews, man. Holy shit. These fucking rabbis. Are they serious right now? They don't even know their own Bible? Rabbi Adam Green is schooling them. I'm just kidding. Adam Green is schooling them right now. Look at this. Deuteronomy. You guys know what Deuteronomy is? That's Moses, bro. That's Torah. That's Torah. Parents are not to be put to death for their children, nor children put to death for their parents. Each will die for their own sin. You fucking pieces of shit.
But then Yahweh goes and kills his own son. Hypocritical much, Yahweh?
Exactly. This makes no sense. This is all nonsense. This is all nonsense.
But he kills his son to save everybody.
This is all nonsense. Oh my God, it's all nonsense. It's all nonsense. How do you not see it? How can you be a Christian in 2026? Are you stupid? Are you paying attention?
That only applies to the Hebrews and the Israelites. That's probably the workaround.
I'm talking about the whole Bible making no sense at all. Yeah. You know that Peter had a dream one day, and there was a dream where a fish and a snake and a snail and all the animals you can't eat were all sitting in front of him, and he concluded, "I had a dream that says we can eat any animal we want." And then Christianity decided that day and forward that Moses was wrong.
$2 super chat. The Babylonian Talmud rules them now, hence Amorite.
Thank you for the super chat. Yes, the Talmud. They are Talmudists. But the point I'm making is all it took was someone to write down on a piece of paper that Peter had a dream, that Moses was wrong. Moses gets the oracle from God himself that says you can't eat shellfish. You can't eat, snakes and fucking whatever the hell, like weird fish and all this stuff. Can't eat pork.
Choose the cud.
Yeah, Peter had a dream, and it said it's all good now. If you think that makes sense, you are stupid. You are an idiot. You are duped. It's fucking Judaism for Gentiles. Thank you for the super chat. All right, let's go back to this final moment from Ben-Hur.
And I love lobster and oysters.
Hell yeah.
He's driving a Greek chariot.
By the way, this gives me a perfect moment to express. Hold on a second. Thank you, Onyx Rocks.
26 dropped $5 super chat. Look at World Columbian Exposition 1893. When our people are motivated to use our own symbols, we can unlock infinite beauty in minimal time.
Yeah. What is that? World Columbian Exposition 1893? Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. Let's see. Is there a Wikipedia? Yes, there is. Boom. All right, real quick. I know we're jumping around a lot here, but we'll get back to the clips in a minute here. All right, Chicago, 1893. Beautiful. Look at that. That's the Statue of Victory. See that? That's the Phrygian cap. That's the Phrygian cap, the symbol of freedom. You know what I mean? There you got. This is beautiful stuff right here. Great point. Great point. Beautiful architecture.
And Brandon Gallemore dropped $5 super chat. Don't forget to mention John Geratis. Adam, I want to talk to you sometime. I'm not that crazy. Your name has a slight Jewish history, though. All love.
Come on, dude. You really got to say that?
Yeah. Anybody that says I'm not that crazy, instantly I think maybe you're a little crazy if you're already.
Yeah, why are you saying that?
Yeah, shout out John. John is one of my boys too. He's awesome. He's always doing epic compilations of this stuff.
Your name has slight Jewish. That's not even true. The name Green was originally
Adam.
Jewish. Adam is
right,
but that's not Christians have been naming. Come on, dude. Think for yourself.
Green's Anglo-Saxon.
Christians have been naming people Adam and Marcus and Mark and Matthew and John and whatever for 1,500, 1,600 years, dude. That's his first name. Green is not a Jewish word. It's a German English word. It's a Germanic word. There are Ashkenazi Jews that end up borrowing that name because they become part of that part of the world. It's called Ashkenazism. Greenberg is not your name. Your name is Green. Anyways, I don't even know how I have to explain that. That's like so low tier. Anyways, which part are we looking at here? This one right here. Oh, stupid ads. Which part did he say he wanted to see? Do you remember or no?
The chariot race.
Just the chariot race? Okay, we'll see right here then. We get your point. It's good stuff. We get it. With the Jewish director, cool. It's good stuff. You're absolutely right. I'm gonna get smoked for that. If not already happened by now. So let's go back to the clips, right?
Yeah, let it run.
To obviously with the Mayflower America.
What we call today Europe and United States and Russia and all the, that's Edom. Later, Europe became United States because the British and the Germans, they all came to America. So America, it's a branch of Esav, of Edom.
And we're right now currently in the last and final long exile, Galut Edom, which according to many commentators, it's a combination of Edom, which is Esav, which basically was the Romans, and then merged to the Christian world, Western culture.
Western philosophy, Western religion. That's Rome.
Rome is generally considered the...
I wonder what he meant by that, because Western philosophy, Judaism, falls within that. I know people would disagree with this.
You know what's crazy too is like Netanyahu and the Christian Zionists. They always say over and over again, they're our greatest ally. They say we're defenders of the West, and that we're your greatest ally. But then you listen to what they actually say in Judaism, and it's all this.
It sounds schizophrenic. It literally sounds schizophrenic. Like on one hand, we're taking credit for all the greatness of Christianity and and Islam for taking over the pagans, and we take credit for that stuff. And then on the other hand, they need to pay for all the stuff they did to us. Blah, blah, blah. Which one is it? You sound like a schizophrenic person right now. Seriously. Goddamn conehead.
The Western world, America,
Nephilim brain,
and the Christian world.
The nation of Edom, of Romi.
That's what Jesus
Western
really
world.
looked like if he existed, right there.
Considered at some time the capital of Europe, is a descendant of Esav.
Let's talk about that for a second. Because Rome, technically, I know what they're doing. They're theologically connecting Rome to Esau. But realistically, it's such nonsense. Esau is just southern Levant. There's nothing related to Rome there at all. At all. Zero connection. There's no Romans related to Esau. You have Herod, who's an Edomite, who's a puppet for the Romans, but then you can't. He's the one who built your temple. You know what I mean? Like, this doesn't make any sense. These guys are so stupid.
Founder of the Nazis. Esau is the father of the Romans, the Greeks, the Nazis.
Why do they think this, though? Is there a reason why they think this?
Well, he explains it another time that the symbol of Edom is the eagle, and the Romans had an eagle, the Germans did, the Russians did. America has the symbol is the eagle. There's the eagle of Edom.
So they use Ralph Ellis methodology. One person has an eagle. Is there really an eagle Edom? Is that really true?
Yeah, it's in Obadiah. It talks about the eagle that nests in the high places. In Obadiah. Yeah, Obadiah.
So Obadiah 1.4?
Probably. Is that what you look?
Let's see. Well, Obadiah 1.4, it says, what the hell? Why can't this site be reached?
Tovia says, we have whole books about the destruction of Edom.
Is he in the chat? All right, Singer? Singer?
No. I have a
okay.
clip of him saying that. That's what he's talking about. Obadiah.
So, Jonah, Obadiah, Jonah 1 through 4.
There it is. Though you soar like an eagle.
That's it.
And you make your nest.
That's it. These people are scum, dude. This is like Ammonite theology, where you find one word, you find one fucking source that says one fucking thing, and then you go, well, the Romans. Let's see. The Roman eagle. Let's look up Roman eagle. Roman eagle. Oh, look at this Roman eagle. Look at this Roman eagle. It must be Edom. You know that's look at an eagle. An eagle's right there. You know how many people have eagles in their symbolism?
$5 super chat. Adam's book is amazing. Everyone should get a copy.
Thank you, Disonics.
Just read the first 3 chapters and it opens you up to the rest of the book.
Absolutely.
It's a must read.
It is. It absolutely. I'm not kidding. I'm not just saying that because you're on here. I actually think your book is really, really well done. For a mythicist, the mythicism had to be taken to another level. It had to go beyond what it was doing. And this book does that. This book finally takes it beyond just the comparative thing. It goes into the culture. It goes into the history. It goes into the theology itself. Your book is really good, dude. It really is.
I think it's good too. I'm reading it in a private Zoom call book club, and I've edited it so many times. I read it over and over again. But I put it out in the beginning of February, and now I'm like rereading it again after a few months of not looking at it, and I'm happy with it. I'm content. I think it is good, and it's getting good feedback.
It's well done, dude. It really is. So thank you for that super chat. Well, all right. So where were we? Yeah, this idea of the eagle and Edom is so low tier. They just make up shit. They just make up what they want. This is so bad, dude. And genetically, culturally, every way, genetically, linguistically, we don't have their language, they don't have their culture, they don't have their gods, they don't have their genetics, they don't have anything to do with Esau. But they want us to be Esau because the Bible says Jacob will take over Esau. So we're Esau now because they said so. Why? Well, they looked for evidence, and they found one verse in Obadiah that says that you're like an eagle soaring. And then they found that Roman symbols sometimes have eagles in them. Therefore, Rome is Esau. This is Amon Hillman. This is Ralph Ellis tier shit right here. This is stupid.
Haman, all the evil people in the world are the children of Esau. This is Malachi chapter 1, verse 1. I love Jacob and I hate Esau.
Great. Look at this stupid face. Look at this stupid fucking face. Look at this stupid person right here.
Great hairline, though.
Yeah, probably.
That's a reverse Norwood. He's got a reverse Norwood receding hairline. Dude, but his eyebrows are like half an inch away from his hairline.
Yeah,
he's got a beard.
He's the stupidest person I've ever heard in my entire life speak. The idea that all the evil person in the world is Esau. Dude, you're just talking. You're just making shit up. This is not. None of this makes any sense to anybody. This is stupid. Rome would never, ever, 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 ever claim descent from Esau. Ever. Neither do I. Neither does anyone in fucking Europe claim descent from Esau. You fucking idiot. You're fucking fighting a cloud. You're talking shit to a cloud right now. Doesn't make any sense.
His forehead's so small because he's missing his frontal lobe, his frontal cortex, because he's got Bible brain.
He's totally fucked, dude. He's totally fucked.
I hate Esau. What do you mean you hate Esau? Esau is 3 billion people almost. That came from him. All the Europe.
What did he say? I came from them?
That we came from Esau, he says.
That came from him.
I came from him. What the fuck's he talking about? What an idiot. What this guy's literally, I think he's literally got like he kind of looks like a little bit Down syndrome going. Is he not even trying to be rude here? Is he a little retarded? Like should I not be watching this? Should I not be making fun of him right now? This guy's really dumb.
He's a Judaism expert.
If that's their best, I don't know what to say. All I gotta say is I'm not worried. I'm not worried about none of this stuff. This is all laughable. This is all laughable nonsense.
Europeans are children of Esav. Russia, France, England, French people, Danish people, Swedish people.
88 dropped $5 super chat. Eagle versus snake symbols go back to Göbekli Tepe. Look up the serpent seal. Perhaps these two human archetypes have been at odds for a long time.
Yeah, the eagle and snake mythology is pretty ubiquitous because anyone looking outside, if you're in the wilderness, if you're in the mountains, if you're in the country, you're going to see eagles swoop down and try to grab a snake. But every once in a while, a snake will fight back and win. So the eagle versus the serpent mythology becomes ubiquitous in all cultures because it's a very fascinating thing to watch. When you see an eagle come down, try to grab a snake, and the snake fights back and sometimes defeats the eagle, or sometimes it loses. It doesn't matter. It depends, right? So it's the eagle verse. There's a Bible verse about this too. The eagle serpent Bible verse. I think it's in Ezekiel. It is Proverbs. Is it Proverbs? I thought it was Ezekiel. Let me see. Proverbs 30. Let me see if I can see it. Proverbs 30 says, "There are things that to amaze me: the way of the eagle in the sky, the way of the snake in the rock." Okay, that's not it. Anyways, but yeah, this is well-known stuff. Anyways.
That mix seemed to be just a bunch of rabbis saying that America is Edom. This is the one where they talk more about what's going to happen to Edom. I just dropped it in the.
You want to skip this one?
It's the one that you're in that you start with your question. Years ago, I super chatted into your show when you had Tovia on, and I say, "What is Edom?"
Yeah, this is like 5 years ago. This one right here, right?
Yep.
One more super chat. Another $10, dude. This is what I really appreciate about tonight. You guys aren't just dropping $2 on me. You're dropping tens.
A Bearable Pain 592 dropped $10 super chat.
Thank you.
Neil, you are missing the point. You have to bring yourself to understand why the Jews apply labels.
Yeah, look, I get what they're trying to do. I just think it's stupid. I think it's really stupid. The idea that everyone alive today who lives in the shadow of Christendom is somehow guilty for what happened in the past is stupid. That's why I think it's stupid. But I appreciate your super chat. Thank you. All right, let's go to the clip. Let's go to the clip at hand. Let's play it.
/Edom represent today and what will happen to them in the end times?
Oh, so that's really easy. So Edom is Christendom. It is the implacable enemy of the Jewish people.
The concept of...
By the way, that was when I was still living in Buffalo. I can tell because of the background. I brought this red behind me. I brought it back, but this is a different setup. This is a whole different bookshelf and everything. This is in Buffalo. Now I'm in Florida. So this is
You got your Joe Rogan curtain.
This is at least over 3 years ago. I wouldn't say 4 or 5 years ago. But oh shit, $20 just came in.
Super chat. I can literally trace my family, bacon. To pre-conquest Normans. Do I have a claim to Normandy?
Right.
Like I said before,
Great
Orthodox
point.
Judaism
Great
is thoroughly
point.
infected with irredentist nationalism. Might as well be Skians.
Well said. Look, this is what I mean. If we're gonna play this game that you are your ancestor, like you are. I'm not saying you shouldn't feel one. I'm not saying you shouldn't feel one with your ancestors. I'm not saying you shouldn't feel collective about your ancestors. You shouldn't feel proud of your ancestors. You shouldn't try to live on through your ancestors. I'm not saying any of that's not true. But I am saying this. If we're going to play this game where you owe a debt from someone 10,000 years ago or 2,000 years ago or 1,000 years ago or 500 years ago, then why don't I get the credit for 1,000 years ago or 500 years ago or 200 years ago? Why can't this person who's a bacon claim Normandy? After all, isn't that what we're doing? We're all guilty or whatever for our. This is what, you get what I'm saying, right? Anyways,
easy. So Edom is Christendom. It is the implacable enemy of the Jewish people.
What do you think about that?
He's right. The eternal struggle between Jacob and Esau. Christianity and Judaism.
Who started this idea, though? Is it Talmud?
At Tepo _ $10.
Genesis.
They have the same Christ.
No, I'm talking
brain
about Christianity.
as the Christians. Yahweh brain is a serious epidemic.
Yahweh brain is a fucking serious epidemic. Tepo, you're not fucking wrong about that, dude. You're absolutely right. It's a serious, world-ending epidemic, world-shattering epidemic.
The Talmud calls Rome Edom, and it also says that before that two cities cannot coexist. So when Rome is up, Judea or Israel or Jacob is down, and that in the end times for Jacob to have their messianic age, Rome has to be at the highest high and then have a fall. That's what they're talking about with the fall of Edom.
So it's Talmudic theology, because Christians don't call themselves Edom. It's not a thing they do. But in fact, Christians say they are Jacob. Because Paul quotes Jacob and Esau.
Yeah, Paul talks about Jacob and Esau in Romans, but it's kind of hard to interpret what he's saying, who he's identifying as Jacob and Esau. But
let's see, Romans 9. Let's go to Romans 9. All right, let's check this out. This is worth checking out. I'm trying to be as objective here as possible. I talk a lot of shit about Christians. But whenever there's a chance where I can say, look, Christians this is not their fault. This is the rabbi's fault. I'm going to take it because I'm trying to show people I'm not being biased. As it is written, Jacob I loved, but Esau I hated. So if Paul's quoting this, and Paul's the father of Christianity, then why would he say this if he knows that all of the Gentiles are Esau? Why would he tell them this? Why would he say, hey, you Romans, you're Esau. God hates you. But what does he say? What shall we say? Is God unjust? Not at all. I will have mercy on whom I have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I have compassion. The point I'm trying to make here is if you convert to Christianity, according to Paul, you won't be hated anymore. You'll be loved. You'll be part of Jacob's. You'll be grafted into Jacob. You'll be saved. So you can see what's going on here. You see the manipulation. They're both using the Jacob-Esau crap, but they're just trying to tweak it in a way to make it feel good. That make sense to you?
Yeah. I'm looking up. I'm going to see what ChatGPT says. In Romans 9, is Paul calling Esau or Jews Christians? I'm sorry. Christians or Jews Esau?
Good question. Great question, actually.
He's not calling either. Instead, he's using it as symbolic examples to make a theological argument about election.
So that's okay. So Paul is not saying that you guys are Esau. he's saying that if you want to be, but he does say if you want to be grafted into Jacob, you got to be converted. So that's already, we already know that.
Okay, so no, it says Paul is wrestling why Israelites don't accept his gospel. So he's saying that the Jews that reject Jesus are like Esau because they're part of the promise despite they're not part of the promise despite physical descent.
There you go.
So he is, yeah.
So they're all just Esau Jacobing each other into infinity. It's all nonsense. But this is what I mean. This is all stupid. This is all very, 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 very stupid.
It is often compared Christianity or likened to like a brother religion or a twin religion fighting over the covenant like Jacob and Esau did.
Yeah, if you follow any of this stuff, you're an idiot. I think so.
For Scandinavians, United States, all the Americans.
Oh, this
not
is the wrong one. You went back to
came
this
from
one. Do the other mix.
Let me see.
It was on the tab. It was on the tab. It's the last link in the StreamYard chat.
This one.
Yeah.
That's right.
The concept of Esav as Edom and as Rome was changed, transformed into a religion. So therefore, any nation that has that religion can be considered Esav. See? So therefore, it's not one nation that is now 2,000 years or whatever, but it is a religion, and any nation that has that religion predominantly is called Esav. Christianity, of course, ultimately became Western civilization. So Esav today is really Western civilization, because Western civilization is basically Christian, and therefore that is considered to be Esav.
Esav, who became Edom, who became the Roman Empire, which metamorphosed into the Christian Empire, which became Christian civilization, which is now represented by the United States of America, will suffer a crushing, humiliating defeat.
Esau is everything that's wicked in the world, and it's the Edom. Esau is Edom. It's the final kingdom of the four kingdoms. It's the greatest, most implacable enemy of the Jewish people. Prophesy. We have whole books devoted to the destruction.
Who's No More Religion? That's not you, is it?
Yeah, that was me. I guess that's another YouTube that I got banned, maybe. I like that name, No More Religion. You know more about it, and you want no more Abrahamic religion.
And we're both knowers. Gnostic, nowhere. I love how we didn't even plan that. That just happened to be, that's the fate of the gods right there. That's cool.
Destruction of Edom at the end of days. This is the last kingdom. In traditional Jewish thinking, it's the church. It's the implacable enemy of the Jews. It's a morphing kingdom. It's unlike the previous kingdoms. It begins as Rome, and then it morphs, becomes.
How does it morph, Rabbi Tobiah? My good friend from a long time.
He said it morphs like a snake.
Yeah, my last time talking to Rabbi Tobiah Singh on the phone was a long time ago. I don't have any problems with him. My friend. I have nothing bad to say about him. We had a pretty friction talk last time I talked to him on here. He wasn't very happy about that conversation we had on here when I talked about. And I try to be like, oh look, you guys are the chosen people. I try to say all that stuff to make it sound better. We didn't talk very much after that, but I talked to him one time after that, and I was like, he was like, but as an atheist, you don't have anything, blah, 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 blah. I go, I'm not an atheist. He goes, what? Well, what do you believe in? I go, I believe in God. He goes, you're not Jewish. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, no, don't you understand? People believe in God that aren't Jewish. You don't have to believe in the Bible to believe in God. You can, I told him about I started listing off Plato, Xenocrates, Anaxagoras, Anaximenes, or naming all these people who believed in the one singular God, the one power behind the universe, the one who's in control. Like, none of this has to do with Judaism, dude. And he had no idea. He had no fucking clue this stuff even existed. These people have no clue that there's already existing traditions that have these ideas. But I was like, we had a good conversation. No, it was fine. But he was just like dumbfounded that I can believe in God and not be like a dumb polytheistic idiot. You know what I mean? I can have a good, smart, intelligent idea. There's something in control of this stuff, which is what mathematics proves, right? This is why Plato's a monotheistic. You know what I'm saying? I'm just talking in general here. Anyways, isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I thought it would be because you were saying the Torah was fake.
That one that's what our debate was on.
That's what made him mad. Yeah,
my debate was on, dude. Your Torah does not exist until 300 BC or later, or after. And he was like, I can't. That doesn't make any. He kept going. Well, papyri doesn't last that long. Yeah, I know, but we have. Guess what? We have papyri from Jews who lived in Elephantine, Yehudim. You're like, we're Yehudim. We're from Jerusalem. We're Jews. But they don't mention Moses. They don't mention Abraham. They don't mention Jacob. They don't mention 12 tribes. They don't mention the Exodus. They don't know who Noah is. They don't know who Adam is. They don't know anything. They don't know anything about the Bible at all. Isn't that a problem? And he just, if you guys can go watch the debate for yourself, you'll understand what I'm saying. Anyways,
yeah, there needs to be some Torah historicity debates.
That's
like
what I'm trying to
Jonathan
do.
Adler and Gad Barnea need to be doing some debates. Tovia Singer's fine with debating Christianity and making his whole life debunking Christianity, but then like, are we ever good? But then if you try to debunk Torah, and it's a big problem.
Yes,
you become
and
Amalek.
Look, as much as I criticize Bart Ehrman, I'm so proud of him for this video right here. Watch this.
Well, I'm happy to be doing this this interview.
Is that when he shows up and reads this law to the people, it sounds like none of them ever heard it before. You know, like there's a festival, tabernacle, Sukkot. Oops, I didn't know about that. Well, let's go cut down some branches and make tents.
He just said the people don't even know about the Sukkot festival. These people, like, if we keep going, this interview right here, surprising origins of Judaism. He interviews John J. Collins, who admits there's no evidence of Judaism before the 2nd century
All of
BC.
them show up in the Dead Sea Scrolls, and that's fine. Go to Sheol like if in, the Ptolemies come in. The Ptolemies are mainly concerned to collect taxes, maybe pick up people to sell as slaves, but it's commercial. In 70, the Romans destroyed Jerusalem. Enoch shows up. Now, the book of Enoch is really a collection, is a radically new worldview in the Jewish tradition.
Yes.
It was something that would have made no sense to Ezra.
See?
Right. But you get it in books like the books of Enoch and
become initiated. Modern Zionism is an outcropping of American Confederacy. The idea of racial dominion was birthed in America's first Congress. Israel equals extension of U.S.
What do you think about that? I don't know about that.
Disagree.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's more going on than this. I think Zionism is a little deeper than that. I think it's a lot deeper. I think it has to do with the Bible. I think it has to do with Jews. I think it has to do with Torah. I think they use American Confederacy, or not Confederacy. I don't think Confederacy would give a fuck about this. Confederacy. Yeah. We're talking about Civil War Confederacy, Bakken. Because if that's what
hold on, you're saying racial dominion was birthed in America's first Congress. You don't see any racial dominion in the Torah, in the Old Testament.
No. The idea that we're Jews and everyone else in the world is Gentiles—that's racism right there.
Son of Man has dominion over the nations.
Second of all, the American Confederacy lost the Civil War in the 1800s. We're talking about 1917 to 1948 here. We're in a different time period where Jews are looking for a new state. They're looking for a reason to, and they're using France, and they're using America, and they're using Britain. Don't get me wrong; it's not that they're not involved. They are involved, but I just think I think there's a little bit of a distance from what you're getting at.
I told you about George Washington's inauguration.
Yeah, I remember that. I really remember what you're talking about. But that's thank you for the super chat. I'm not sure exactly what you mean by that, but anyways, the point I was making here was we got mainstream scholars, Bart Ehrman and John J. Collins,
in the Dead Sea Scrolls,
admitting that there's no evidence for the Torah or Judaism. I'm sorry, no, for Judaism before the 2nd century BC. That's crazy. That should blow you away. That should make you leave Christianity right now as we speak. If you're a Christian watching this, you just found out that there's no evidence for Judaism before the 2nd century BC, and there's no evidence for the Torah before the 3rd century BCE. You should go, whoa. What? So why did Jesus die for my sins again? For a fake religion that doesn't even exist? Boom. Gone. Game over. That's all I'm trying to say. Right, Adam?
To be a Christian and believe in Jesus, you have to believe in so much nonsense from the Old Testament that's obviously not real.
Exactly.
Fiction. So much magical stuff.
Exactly. You have to seriously deny reality. And you have to find people like Jay Dyer to convince you that your denied reality is good and legit.
And Brandon Gallimore dropped $2 super chat. History says we're Zebulon according to Washington.
Where's Zebulon? Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I don't care. I don't care what Washington says. I think it's stupid. We're not any of the 12 fucking tribes. I get why you're super chatting. I appreciate you adding this to the conversation. He's adding some nuance here and saying there were some founding fathers who were somewhat, sympathetic or even maybe trying to pander a little bit. Is that, I don't know. Are you looking this up right now?
He quoted a biblical blessing that mentions Zebulon in a famous letter. In his letter to the Hebrew congregation in Newport in 1790, he wrote, "May the children of the stock of Abraham continue to merit and enjoy the goodwill of other inhabitants, while everyone shall sit in safety under his own vine and fig tree."
Right here, Genesis 49. So it says the master of which was Jacob Morton, who served as the marshal of the inauguration at St. John's Lodge, Masonic Lodge. The Bible was opened up randomly to Genesis 41, which says, "Zebulon shall dwell at the haven of the sea. He shall be for a haven of ships, and his border shall be to Zidon," which is Sidon, which is, long live George Washington, President of the United States. So, okay, so there's some weird basic Christian history going on. Do I honestly, Brandon? I don't think much of it. I really don't. I'm just being honest.
Dude, are we secretly Zebulon all along, bro?
No, I don't think so. I think
what does that mean?
I think they were pandering. I think they're pandering to Christians, trying to sound cool. That's what they're doing.
And then it divides and divides and divides.
So who's Edom? Edom includes most of Europe. It includes the United States of America. It's the Roman Empire that was never destroyed.
Edom becomes America. Why? Because America is Edom, after all.
Esav?
Little circular.
Terms is really basically, certainly one of them is America.
But for those of you don't understand that Italy is the seat of the Roman Empire of Edom, even though Edom is scattered, many other nations today that speak Latin languages that have something of the Roman Empire, including America. They are first. So Edom is everywhere, and the United States of America is also part of Edom.
Malchut Edom, which includes all of America, Europe, and some of the Western Quarter.
Who becomes the children of Esav? All of a sudden, it shifts now. And we talk about Galut Edom as whom? As Rome, and eventually Western civilization.
The Edomites are the descendants of Edom, who is also known as Esau, Jacob's evil twin. Our tradition tells us that the Edomites are the ancestors of the Romans, and indeed of all Europeans and the entire Christian world.
Esav
Look up 20.
who is the symbol of all the nations.
And 9/11.
He wants you to. Oh, this is some. Nah, you can look it up if you want, but I'm
I
telling
know
you
what he's talking about. I've seen rabbis talk about that.
Yeah.
Christians or not.
Rome is the last.
I'm gonna say this. It's a little weird. It doesn't connect. Like the LL thing with the, what does it say? It's something very vague. It's like Nostradamus shit.
It says like buildings in the capital of Edom will fall.
Yeah.
Empire of the four empires that subjugated the Jewish people. Edom, Rome is the worst of all. And Edom is going to be destroyed. We have entire books in Tanakh devoted to the destruction of Edom. It's finished. It's gone.
I'm sorry, Rabbi Tobiah, my friend. Edom doesn't exist anymore. It's gone. It's called Jordan right now. Get to the real world. Jordan is Edom. We're not Edom. We don't call ourselves Edom. We don't claim Edom. We don't give a fuck about people who lived in Edom. We're not Edom. So your mythology is fucking dumb. Edom is the Jordans, the Jordanians. You can go fuck with them if you want, but don't fuck with us.
No more.
The West is Rome. According to the simple meaning, Europe and America are really one entity. But we know one thing, right? That when it comes to the classic Rome, which is Europe, they're finished.
Did you hear that, dude? Classic Rome, which is Europe, and you know that extends to the Americas. He's not just saying just Europe as a continent. He's talking about Europeans. He's talking about you and me. And this is fucking crazy. Like that they can just say this stuff and get it. And then, how do they not demonetize for threatening people? Right?
It's pretty genocidal.
Alexander Victor 4,310 $2 super chat. Fun epiphany for God. Gnostic omni deus. Simple.
What do you mean by that? Gnostikoi omni deus, the single one knowable God. Is that what you mean? Yeah. That's the idea. That's the Greek idea. That predates Judaism. Absolutely. Everyone knows that.
Asa of Edom is the implacable enemy of the Jew, and an identifying feature of it is that it's constantly morphing, changing, but it's really the same thing. It only appears different, but it's really that fourth horse that has just many different colors.
It's really what we want it to be, is what you just said. It's really what
here's the eagle part. Yeah, they just make it up as they go along. It's prophecy's not even real. It's just whatever they say it is and believe it is.
Yeah.
Their mark is eagle, and that's really the sign of the Romans and the Russians and the Americans and the Germans. All the evil empires, they all have the same symbol.
And it describes then this force that's going to be destroyed like a marine creature, like a fish. It should be stated, I know for most people, they think that the symbol of Christendom is a cross. As it turns out, the symbol of the cross for Christianity, relatively speaking, is rather late. The early and most primitive Christian symbol is the fish because of the acronym of its name. So the fish is the ancient symbol of Christendom. It's really not until you get to the 4th century, until you get to Constantine, does the cross emerge as the chief symbol of the church. And it slithers from one place to another place because Christendom...
That's kind of true. The fish, but he's a little off here. The fish symbol is not like is like early 3rd century. So they're like the cross and the fish are coming at like the same time. So I don't know.
He's trying to say that Christianity is the Leviathan that in Isaiah will be slayed.
A Leviathan is not even a fish. A serpent is not a fish. So you can see how much they're trying to make things work in their theology, and they're taking a round peg or a square peg, trying to cram it into a round hole. It's all nonsense. It's all bullshit. A serpent isn't a fish. A serpent is a snake. A Leviathan is not a fish. It's a snake. It's a giant dragon, actually. It's a god. So they're just looking for things to make this thing fit. It's stupid. This is so low tier. I almost want to say Judaism is dumber than Christianity. It sounds like it. It sounds like it's dumber. Like think about how dumb it is. Like at least Christianity has like thought about. It adopts enough Greek mythology. It adopts enough from the Greek philosophers to somewhat sound coherent. Or universalism, everyone's equal under Christ, and the world will be all one temple. Judaism is a stupid Iron Age mindset where there's going to be one person, one tribe, one group of people called the Jews who are going to be kings over everyone else. And they start thinking the Leviathan, the fish, Edom, Rome. It doesn't even make sense. Here we go. Here's an interesting super chat. 6 shekels.
I dropped 6 Israeli new shekels super chat. Those people think the Israeli IRS is holy.
Yeah. People think Israeli IRS is holy. They do. They actually think there's some holy order going on. Thank you for the super chat, man. I'm glad that you understand. Like, I appreciate you watching, and I do want to come on your channel soon, so to talk about this stuff. So send me an email as soon as you can. We'll talk, man.
Has managed not just to remain isolated and local to Rome, remain local to Edom in that area, but rather it slithers and emerges in different.
Notice how he uses the sound of a snake to make it. This is what's so crazy. All right, listen. Do you guys understand what just happened there?
He's saying Edom is all European countries, is what he's trying to say.
So he uses the imagery of a snake that slithers in order to make something that doesn't equal A does not equal B. B equals B. Stop. B equals B. A equals A. A does not equal B. But what does he do? He says A slithers. It becomes B. And he just tells you this is what A equals B. It's not logical. It's not logical. It doesn't make any sense. Let's keep going.
Different nations all over the world. And this has to be utterly destroyed because Christendom is the religion of Rome.
And this is written over 2,000 years ago. And in the future, the sons of Ishmael are future to arouse huge wars all over the world. Now it's going to happen. They're going to go against the entire world, the sons of Edom. And they're going to go and gather war against the rest of the world. The sons of Edom, these are the Christians. So all the Muslims, this is a prophecy from over 2,000 years ago. The Muslims are going to go and they're going to infect the rest of the world. Everywhere they're going to go, they're going to cause havoc. They're going to cause riots. They're going to cause wars. And they're going to go against the land of Edom, the nation of Edom, which in our generation, this is the Christians it's talking about.
In Isaiah chapter 63, the day of the great and terrible day of the Lord, it says that the Lord will come out from a place called Edom and he will crush Edom. Now, I'm just a broadcaster here, okay? In Jewish understanding, Edom is really talking about the Christian.
Look at his face, dude. Look how crazy he looks right here. How crazy he looks right here.
Like Adam Sandler's crazy big brother.
He
He has
like-
a new book called The Fall of Edom also.
He looks like Adam Sandler. You're right. You're absolutely right. That's funny. He looks like Adam Sandler that just like took some DMT and got a message from the gods that he needs to conquer the world or something.
He looks like Adam Sandler in the movie where he played Little Nicky. He played the like satanic character. I think that's what it's called, right? Little Nicky.
Yeah.
Making weird demon-possessed faces as he talks about America's going to be crushed by Hashem.
Yeah. Thank you, Judge Holden.
At Judge Holden 849 dropped $4.99 super chat. Neil, are you going to host Richard Spencer x Jason Giorgiani on this channel or moderate somewhere else or what? It's going to be so keynote.
I thought that was going to happen. I do not know if that's going to happen anymore for reasons that I'm not really sure about. Let's put it that way. I really like to see them become friends again, because I think Giorgiani, for as much as I disagree with a lot of stuff he says, I think he's a genius. I think he's smart as hell. I think he knows a lot of shit. He's a PhD. He knows every philosopher. You could name a philosopher from any time period. He knows everything about him. He's an encyclopedia. And as far as Richard Spencer, fucking high IQ individual, great guy too. Great guy. Good person. I met him. Was like, dude, fucking class A act, bro.
Were they supposed to debate?
Supposed to have a conversation on my channel.
Apollonianism versus what? Zoroastrianism?
Apollonianism and Prometheism.
Prometheism.
And for some reason, from what I've gathered, it's not going to happen. And I'm not really sure why. I'm not going to get in. I don't know. If I knew why, I would say it, but I don't really know. So it's just not. But
no battle of the gods.
Yeah, maybe later it'll happen. So we'll know. Who knows? We'll see. That's all I know for now. But how much time do you got left? We got time?
We can finish this. How much more is in this one? We can go just
finish this clip.
Yeah, or just finish this little edit.
Yeah, because
Okay, Christianity is called
Say it again.
Christianity is Edom.
The Edomim, Esav was called Edom, and his descendants were known as the nation of Edom.
Look at this guy. This guy looks like he eats lots of falafels every day.
According to Chazal, Edom is the father of Rome, what would later become the Roman Empire.
All the mountains of the corpses of Edom, because of the vengeance that Hashem is going to take from them.
Kadosh Baruch Hu will rise and will destroy completely the city of Edom and will completely uproot them.
But regarding Esau, Edom, we stress their complete destruction and that God will throw them into the endless pit of darkness and oblivion. Regarding the total obliteration of Esav, we also have an entire book of Obadiah. In verse 18 of the single chapter of that book, we read as follows: Then the house of Jacob will be like fire, the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau will be straw. They will set them alight and consume them. There will be no survivors from the house of Esau, for God has spoken.
The third, this is called Nekama Bagoim, revenge on the nations that went against us for the last 4,000 or 5,000 years. Any nation, any person that went against the nation of the Jews is going to be a Nekama. It's going to be a revenge.
What do you think about that so far?
Revenge fantasy. They're very brazen how much they talk about this too.
It's crazy, and they're all unite. It's just so. What I like about this clip that you put together is it's not just one guy. It's not just like you found one. Like, you know how people find one priest or one pastor who has some crazy ideas that every other Christian doesn't agree with. You're highlighting that this is something that's doctrinal in Judaism right now, right? These are high level. These are like the mainstream biblical scholars of Judaism. Am I wrong?
Dude, see through it all. Almost every day he finds some new rabbi talking about destroying Edom.
Yeah.
99 cents super chat. This narcissistic ethno-cult just bought TikTok.
Did they really? So TikTok went from China to
Larry
what?
Ellison got TikTok. I wouldn't say rabbis got TikTok.
Oh, okay. So he's Jewish though?
Ellison, yeah, he's a Zionist.
Of course he is. Anyways, all right, let's keep going.
Hashem will take their blood back.
The descendants of the enemies of our people that were enemies to our people from day first are still hating us in the commandment of their ancestors, the children of Esav that hates Yaakov, the children of Amalek that hates Yaakov, the children of all the ones that had that black bitterness instead of a soul, that black, dark, horrible, depressed, negative, and awful shadow as a poor replacement for a soul. still hating us, still jealous, still don't know what to do with our goodness.
To Christianity, to Edom, and that Christianity must be utterly destroyed. And that is how the full force of the Messianic age will arrive.
The spiritual heirs of the Roman Empire is the Western world, United States of America, so the USA will last until Mashiach comes.
So one of the things that has to happen is America has to fall. I mean, because the American-led world, the world order, that's the American-led order, is going to end. That's not the same as the very end that we read in the Bible. Right. So somehow we're going to see a collapse.
I mean, America.
That's one of the most influential Christians in America too. Jonathan Cahn.
And that we.
Him, yeah.
What does he do? What is he?
He's a Messianic Jew that wrote best-selling book called The Harbinger.
He thinks America has to fall.
Yeah, because of prophecy.
Wow. That's fucked up, man. And you know
also, like, Tovia, if it's not evil for Tovia to want to completely destroy Christianity, you can't say it's evil for us if we oppose Judaism.
Yeah. Here we go.
I dropped 15 Israeli new shekels super chat. There are other sects. They are not on TikTok. This political machine is literally Jewish blasphemy. Those are not people of the book or the books.
There are other sects. They're not on TikTok. This political machine is literally Jewish blasphemy. Those are not people of the books. Yeah, I feel the same way if I was him.
Anti-contrarian 3,788 dropped $5 super chat. Is Judaism not just an advanced form of voodoo in which they strike the doll since they cannot strike the man? A modern voodoo or ancient VR?
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what's happening right now. With these modern, the rabbis we've shown tonight, at the very least, are like doing voodoo. They're so mad about the past. They don't want to accept what happened in the past, that their temple got destroyed and they had to be in diaspora for 2,000 years. So what they're doing is they're essentially doing voodoo. They're essentially hitting the doll with their sharp objects. This.
They're trying to use the secret. They're using the power of negative thinking towards Edom.
Yeah, they're essentially stabbing the microphone, saying, "This is Edom. We're gonna get him." Yeah, that's what's going on, right? It's a good super chat. Let's keep going.
Yeah, I think it's about at the end.
Read in the Bible. So somehow we're going to see a collapse.
I mean, America is strong, but not when they're going against 3-4 armies.
It's going to take down Esau.
Once we will leave this place, Hashem will bury America. That's what's going to happen. Not because I'm some kind of a prophet. I'm not giving you any prophecies here. I'm just describing to you a divine formula.
That's bullshit. What do you think about that?
That's the narrative, though. There's going to be a rise in anti-Semitism in Edom, and that they're going to have to make Aliyah and go back to Israel, and then God's going to punish the West for the history of persecution and the prophetic Esau hates Jacob narrative. Like I said earlier in the Talmud, that the two nations cannot coexist. So in order for Israel to fulfill their messianic ambitions, there has to be a fall of Edom.
That's fucking sick, man.
Dude, I'm hungry too. I'm so hungry. You're sitting here eating. I'm about to go get a burrito or something. No, it's all good. I went to the gym earlier and haven't eaten anything. But yeah, let's wrap it, dude. 3 hours.
No, it's been 3 hours, man. Look, man, I gotta get you on more. I was thinking about this. The other day. I was like, I haven't had Adam on my channel like almost ever. He always has me on his channel. Why haven't I had my like? You got to come on more, bro. You got to do these more.
Let's do it.
Oh, you got the bulldog there.
All good. Yeah, I have a Boston Terrier. That's supposed to be my dog, but
we got to get our dogs to meet up, dude. So
yeah, my dog's not very good. He's a little weird with other dogs, but
yeah. Someone writes, man, Neil getting it up in Florida this summer down the chicken sandwiches. Nice. And then one more super chat. Are you splitting the super chat money with Goy Sayik? I might send you a
no.
little
We don't got to do that. That's not how we roll.
You know how YouTubers they take half that shit.
Super chat money with Gorshiak.
Yeah. No.
But listen, man, I'm gonna have you on more often, dude. This was a huge success, obviously. Anything you want to promote, man? Like, look, there's still 800 people. There's still 100 people. Lots of people watching right now.
Well, everybody's up late.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no. It looks like it's down at 500. It was at 900 earlier.
It was at like 1,000. Now it's down a little bit.
Yeah.
It's getting late.
Well, it is real late. It's
Yeah.
nomorenews.org. Follow me on Twitter is probably the best spot. Substack, all the links are there. Jesus Deception on Amazon. Follow. We're posting.
You're on YouTube. You're on Rumble, Odyssey. You're on all these platforms.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, go ahead. And
spreading the wealth.
Every single one of them right now. The link's in the description right now for nomorenews.org.
Thank you.
And I recommend this man, bro. He's been hated on. He's been canceled. He's been shit talked. And I look at I'm telling you, I co-sign this motherfucker right now. He's not who the people say he is. He's actually well balanced. He's well nuanced. He's well researched. I have nothing bad to say about you, bro. Seriously.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Yeah, dude, I've been a fan of you for a long time. Your channel since it first started, I've been watching and subbed.
Appreciate that, man.
True Gnosis. Let's go. I look forward to your book too. All right.
Yeah, man. Go get your food. Let me hit that outro. And
take care.
Where's my outro again? Hold on a second.
Let's see some comments. I want to read some comments in the morning. What you guys think?
Yeah.
Are you Edom pilled?
Drop some comments in the description. All right.
You have just attained true gnosis. The demiurge has no power over you.